Alright, come here. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. But with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. So get it in your head.
Check the back seat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Crossover. Killer crossover. Just crossover. It just crossed him over. Danced to the crossovers. Cross him up and set him down.
Crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Gentlemen, how are we?
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Nick.
How we doing today?
I am tremendous.
You know what? This stupid little thing, dude.
What's wrong?
It's the thing always turns off the monitor, and it's always in my face.
You know, John, the mic boom on the
yeah.
seat
Oh,
number
the
one.
mic boom, my favorite.
Do you get annoyed by that?
Yes. It gets hooked up on the monitor, and it's just it's a little loosey goosey. It's not.
It's
great.
a little loosey goosey. I need to be a little bit more loosey goosey.
Yeah.
Is what I need to be. I got all my notes.
Oh
Too
my
much reading
gosh.
the notes.
Yeah, a lot of notes.
No, we have a lot of. So I didn't open up the text line today, John. There were some very unhinged texts today.
About what?
A lot of stuff. One guy texted in, "It's okay to be horny for your wife." Thoughts, John?
Oh, that's John's phone number, actually.
Whoa, John! You had opinions?
I don't think
Yes,
that's
I do. I have opinions.
That's a normal
I have
opinion.
opinions.
That's a very good opinion.
We were talking about how
Turn your mic up there, Nick.
we were talking about how the midday show has just by default become the horniest show because I'm the only one not married. Okay. Well, I guess Nick isn't married, but he's going to get married.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like by default.
Wow, you're about to be the only unmarried dude on the zone.
Joey's
no.
not
Oh,
married.
and Joe. Yeah, what about Joey, though?
As far as I know, anyway.
Joey
Yeah,
is
don't
married.
forget about
with
Joey.
schedules.
But Joey doesn't really give off horniness, you know? Poll question.
Poll question: does Joey give off horniness?
Doesn't
Just
really.
because you get married doesn't mean that goes away.
Exactly. Hence
John,
the-
are you talking from experience,
Let's
my
go,
man?
John.
Well, I've been married for a while. Yeah.
How many years have
And
you been
again,
married
this,
now,
this
John?
weird obsession with, it's okay to share our feelings, but that one is no. You
Yes,
can't do
shame
that.
on you.
Here comes
Well,
the bonk. Here comes the bonk. Bonk
I mean,
shaming.
See, Josh is right. Josh is Joey right. is a sex symbol. I do forget.
Joey is a sex symbol.
He is
Shout
a
out to
sex symbol.
Joey. Oh,
Jeez.
John, what are you doing?
Are you okay?
Ah.
Are you okay?
Whatever you just did, don't ever do that again.
Never.
Yeah, there's something weird with the wiring in here.
Sounded like you were in a bunker. Oh my goodness.
How long
Yeah,
until
it did.
Creighton's done
Sorry
with
about
their shoot around? How much longer until the shoot
Austin?
around is done?
Oh, Jacobson?
Oh, probably another 45 minutes.
Oh,
boy.
my God.
They shooting.
Nick.
I'm going to hate this.
What? Are they just shooting it around? Are they taking a
Because
bunch
your
of...
microphone, John, has been causing issues since we
Yeah.
started the crossover. I
It-
think
I-
Hasn't it? I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. What can I fix? What can I do?
no,
Well,
I mean,
maybe get a better
there's-
mic. That looks like what I use to play PS3.
Well, it is. It's a
normally.
little. Listen. It's not optimal. I mean,
A call center
you're-
headset.
this is what happens when you have these weird game times. It's not great, but we'll get by.
we'll power through.
You're Mountain Dew and a bag of Doritos away from saying racist things. That's what you look like.
I need to get the game fuel codes
Yeah.
for Call of Duty.
It's up, down, X, Y. That's the cheat code, John. That's how you get fire bullets in GTA
That was
5.
John's original COVID mic. Back when we were doing
Yes,
COVID.
it is.
show, That
Yes,
was
it
the
is.
OG COVID
You know,
microphone.
Audio Technica makes headsets, John. Maybe we should get you one of
He
those.
doesn't need one.
Mac.
He's got
Again, I
crap.
don't
barely hear
wanna
you.
use these. I don't need to use these very often, but this is a weird circumstance today. I'm not up
Yeah.
in my prison cell.
Yeah, John wanted to save a little time.
Trying
which
to
makes
save
sense.
time. Again, I'm trying to remember the last time on a weeknight, a regular weeknight, that Creighton tipped off at 6 o'clock.
You also have that weird ESPN thing where you're like 0.4 seconds delayed. You look like Schefter telling us that a minute trade happened and people are interested in interesting things.
Yeah, we'll get back to being live again in 45 minutes.
According to my sources, that's my Schefter. According to my sources,
keep working on it.
Well, Frank Caliendo is coming in tomorrow, so we can have a lot of practice together.
Wow, that is. I wonder if he will leave saying I'm never coming back to 1620.
I think he's gonna hate me.
We're gonna be the only show that should we try for Frank tomorrow too? We're gonna be the only zone show that didn't have him.
No, I think we're okay.
Here's because I'm a fanboy of Frank Caliendo.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's one of those things where I grew up watching him, and he was one of my favorite niche comedians.
Hodson says he'll be on the phone tomorrow.
Damn it! I wanted him in person. I wanted to shake his hand.
Well, yeah, and this is another thing that happened in the Josh and Connor divorce. Who got Frank Caliendo? Apparently, he's having to split his time. He's like, a child. He has to have 2 Thanksgivings.
That's what my parents did. It worked out. It was fine.
And then it was not your fault, Nick.
1 week on, 1 week off.
What is he, Matt Damon and Goodwill?
It's not your fault.
It's not
Nick.
your fault.
It's not your
not
fault.
your fault.
It might be my fault a little.
Now you're not doing it for me.
What do you think you did wrong?
I don't know. I'm just making a low
Yeah.
self-esteem joke.
Oh, okay. I mean, fits, but yeah.
Why did you become in between your parents?
Yeah,
what do you think that Nick annoyed his parents about to lead to a divorce?
Probably playing chess. They're like, we're raising a loser. We gotta cut it. We gotta cut it while we're ahead.
The movie is searching for Bobby Fischer, but we're not searching for Bobby Fischer.
Nice. I didn't get into chess until high school.
And they're like the guys into F1.
Didn't get into F1 until COVID.
Okay.
Maybe I was playing too much NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup.
Maybe that's what it was. Too much video.
That's it.
Too
John.
many video games.
That's it.
Too many video games.
We should get an investigative reporter to find out why you caused your parents divorce.
Wow, you're going way far.
Hey, Claire, I was a good kid. My parents are still together.
Same. Not to brag.
Same.
Not to brag.
My parents have been together now for, what did they hit this summer? 40 years?
Oh my God.
Or no, they will hit 40 years.
You win.
They will hit 40 years.
Mine's well, I'm younger, clearly. So
Yeah.
they got married in 1995.
Wow. Okay.
What a great year.
John, how long have your parents been together now?
55.
Wow.
Going on 56.
Double nickel, Adam Korchinski.
No, I was going to say Jason Peter.
Yeah, Adam Korchinski.
Yeah,
was
we have no
Saints.
idea what you're talking about. Double nickel is one of the, well, it's Christian Peter, but then Jason, took his number.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was talking about 2 years starting defenseman for the Chicago Blackhawks, Adam Korchinski.
Again, no one cares.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm going niche. I was going niche.
Very niche.
I was trying to be
Very niche.
I like
I'm sure the one listener in Skokie's having a good laugh.
Exactly. That guy's just a rock's throw away from Chicago. Yeah.
Daryl Waltrip, also 55.
There you go. Matt McNeish. How about that?
Junior Seau, may he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Also number 55. Who else was 55?
Lance Briggs.
Lance Briggs.
Carlos Sainz.
You already said him.
He already
I
said, shut
know.
up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
J-Man writes, quiche greater than niche. I love a good quiche.
Quiches are overrated.
Wow, really?
This just egg.
I mean, it's scrambled egg pie is all.
Yeah,
it is.
thank you, John.
I like
there's
quiche.
what's so special about a quiche? What's special about a quiche is like
What's
you put
special about anything we eat? It's just a nice thing.
Yeah, what is special about anything we eat, Matt?
well, Japanese Miyazaki Wagyu comes from very specific cows.
Those are the cows that get drunk, right?
Yeah, basically, and they've been
And they get
bred.
massaged a lot.
Yeah,
Oh, Japanese whiskey?
Well, no, it's beer, if I remember
but
right.
they've been like bred for generations, and so it's a very specific breed of cow that makes a very specific.
And then they
meat.
chop their heads off.
Yeah, then they kill them.
Cow.
But here's
And
the
they
thing:
turn them into a ribeye.
I'll give you some like all these restaurants now, like Wagyu is like the buzzword, right?
Because it's fake. It's
not real. It's not
Not
the real Wagyu. The real Wagyu.
You'll
is
know it's real
Japanese-
because it's going to cost like $300.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're like American Wagyu or something Wagyu. No, Japanese Miyazaki A5 Wagyu.
It's only
That's
Wagyu
what-
if it comes
that's-
from Japan.
That's the special food.
Have you actually had Wagyu before?
I've never been graced. I've had a lot
Me
of.
too.
Now I'll say this: like a dry aged New York strip, probably the best bang for your buck in terms of. Now it's still like $70 some dry aged New York strips, depending on where you go. But still,
Yeah.
if you want a great steak, that's always a good option.
I feel like you just move to a certain point where it just becomes so fancy where it's like, can you really tell the difference, and is it really worth it?
You know what, John? I used to think the same thing, and then like you just talk to all of these people who've actually eaten it before, and they all say yes, like you haven't had anything like it. Now here's the problem.
Are they saying that because they feel like they need to say that because they just spent $300 a pound?
You know what? Here's my opinion on this, right?
I have an opinion.
If you go ahead and you say, hey, to the left of you is a $20 burger, and to the left of you and to the right of you is a $10 burger, okay? And they're actually the same burger, but you just told me one costs more than the other. And if I were to eat the burger that's $20, that's apparently $20, and if it tasted better than the $10 burger, for me, that's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're the same, even though they're the same burger, in my mind, if because I paid for it, it makes me think it tastes better than the other one, then that's why I'm paying for it.
But that's $10 versus $20. There's a difference between that and like a $60 steak versus a $300.
See, no, I think so. That's a great point. There's bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely the bang for your buck. Now, here's the problem I have with the whole like that conversation, John. Is that like that Wagyu crap, right? It's all fat. You can only have like so many. Like you get a stomach ache. It's so rich,
it's so marbleized.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like some of these desserts that are so rich. I mean, they're great.
Yeah.
One bite, they're awesome. But 5 bites in, you're like, I can't do this anymore.
I agree.
It becomes a point of diminishing returns.
I would much rather have like a big 20-ounce sirloin that I can have a lot of meat, like I can have a lot of bites of it and enjoy it, as opposed to like an 8-ounce.
I'm never a fillet guy. Fillets are good, but I want a ribeye because they're bigger.
Fillets are for women and children.
Wow.
That on the poster. Now you say that, but we just had some great fillets last week. It was awesome.
I
didn't know we were gendering steak now.
Yeah. I mean, that does kind of fit. Like if I go out with my parents, my mom will get a fillet. And Riss will get a fillet.
Sometimes I want a fillet because it's a bit more tender. If I want something a little more melt in my mouth, I'll get a fillet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's how it works. The ribeye is the steak.
That is the steak.
The ribeye is the steak.
Handshake meme.
You want it.
Maybe if that news that we're getting later this week, if it goes your way, you could take us all out for the Wagyu.
I hope, man.
You could do that. By the way, we were talking about divorce earlier.
Oh yes, cool. I love divorce. Great topic. My parents never got one.
I got one once. Venmo Chris writes, my parents never divorced, but they did die. So in a way, I guess they divorced me.
Divorce.
It's nice to have a sense of humor about your parents dying. Good job by you, Venmo Chris, who was at one point an intern at 1620 The Zone before all of our time.
You gotta have a sense of humor.
Yes.
You do have to have a sense of humor.
Jake asked a great question in the text line.
Oh wow, interesting that you're opening the text line. What was the text? That's the text sound.
That's our text noise.
That's our text sounder.
Nick.
Yeah.
Are you waiting for the wedding to get a haircut, or
I'm getting one on Saturday.
Okay. I kind of like it.
No, I look good. I like my hair.
It gives me 2004 punk rock.
Nice.
I
like that.
It gives me a little like a little under. It's a
Ocean
little bit,
Avenue.
A little like a.
Get him a puka shell necklace like Robin Washit.
Oh, that'd be great. It's a little Joe Jonas.
Yeah.
It's very Joe Jonasy.
You're getting your haircut when?
Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call Joe Jonas punk rock, like 2004 punk rock.
Well, I mean, he tried to look like it.
John, what do you think about Joe Jonas and 04 punk rock?
Joe Jonas, wasn't he the backup kicker for the Patriots in like 84?
No.
He was the guy who they cleared the snow off before he kicked the field goal.
Oh, he was the guy that drove the plow.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right.
Is that an actual guy, Joe Jonas?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're just
rolling with John.
A whole song about him.
You know what? That is a thing that I do too, where John goes, "This is the first time since 1973," and I just nod my head and I go, "Hell yeah, brother! I'm not gonna."
And usually John is making up a pretend thing.
John.
I'm never making up a pretend thing. It's all real.
There was actually a guy. Do you know the story about that Patriots game? It was the Patriots game, right? Where they came out and
Dolphins game. Yes.
They cleared off the snow. Yeah, and then they made a field goal.
Oh, I have an opinion.
And he was on furlough or on parole or something from prison.
Awesome. I'm mad at the city of Omaha.
Yeah, get in line.
And I don't know what to do about it.
What did they do to you this
time? So I went to the old market.
Okay.
And I had a bite to eat. Okay. And
every crossover is just you telling stories about spending money on food.
That's the old market.
It is.
I go ahead and I park it. And where I was parked.
Oh, yeah, I know where this is going.
I didn't walk to the meter. I walked away from the meter, right? Okay. I had to cross the street. So I honestly just like not trying to get away with anything, not trying to like, stick it to the man, just honestly did not pay the meter. Okay. Have a quick little dinner.
They have an app.
1 hour. I do. I almost always pay it, but this time I just forgot. It was $30. I got to pay $30.
Tough.
Yeah.
Right? I go, screw this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to appeal it.
You're going to fight it?
I'm going to appeal it.
No,
so
wait, now on what grounds are you appealing?
I think you're going to lose this one.
I wrote them, I don't have money and it was an honest mistake.
That's not true, though. They're going to listen to the show and know you go out to eat every Friday.
So they go, hell no.
Oysters on the half shell.
Yeah, exactly.
They go, hell no, brother. Like it's $40 now. Now you got to pay $40.
Oh, wait, they said that?
Well, because it goes up the next day, and then like the appeal, like yeah. So the next day it became $40. Then they go, if you don't pay it by this time, it's $60. Okay.
So have you paid it yet?
I go, you know what? Screw this. I'm just not going to pay it. Matt, don't do that.
You have to pay that.
I know. I'll pay it eventually.
What? How long later are you gonna?
Eventually.
Yeah, just pay it now.
It's gonna be the price of a
You're
Wagyu
not
steak
going to
soup.
win this. Yes, exactly.
What are they going to do?
Charge you.
Yeah, charge you more.
When you go relicense your car, it will be on the record, and you will need
Yeah,
to
what are you
pay it
doing?
at that time.
Don't be an idiot. I don't even know your argument here. I didn't see the meter.
It's too expensive. That's my argument.
Yeah, that's how it works.
It was $30. $30.
This is why I avoid downtown at all costs.
$30 because I didn't pay $250 to be at your stupid meter.
Those are the rules.
For as annoying
That
as
is, I mean, that's why they have parking meters.
Yeah. For as annoying as it is to drive in downtown Lincoln, I love their first hour free rule.
Yeah.
For parking garage. It's incredible.
I had to pay my doctor too.
Pay your doctor. You don't want that to go to collections.
I know.
Yeah, you need to pay bills.
Yeah.
That is how
These
life.
bills are stupid.
That's
all
how
right?
life works.
Here's the thing. I had a genetic skin disease that I needed to find out about. Okay. I have a genetic skin disease.
Yeah.
All right. If I did not get it treated, I would be scratching and itching. It could possibly lead to other bad diseases in my life. So I went and got it checked out.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it would affect my health. And I got to pay a lot, like too much money for it.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
That's
in
the
That's
American
ridiculous.
healthcare
You know,
system.
you need to go to doctors who are in suburban areas where they have free parking.
I don't think that would have
Again, if you
solved
don't
the
wanna
skin
pay for
issue,
parking,
John.
Avoid the places that have the paid parking.
It's either I have
That's
to
my
pay a
advice.
ridiculous amount of money or keep this on my hand. Look at this thing.
I
This
know.
thing's
Every
disgusting.
time I hang out with Matt, I've never had the gumption to be like, "What is up with your skin?"
Yeah.
But I notice it every
I mean,
time.
that's rude. You don't just ask
Look
somebody
at
what's going on.
my nose.
But he has started telling stories now about it. So Matt
No,
has
I
herpes.
don't have herpes.
Oh, that's a bummer, Matt.
It's psoriasis.
Bonk.
They asked. I went to the doctor and I go, "All right, doc, I know I got psoriasis." Okay, and they looked at me and they go, "Yeah, you do. Okay, you got psoriasis."
That's $500.
All right, and it. Yeah,
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 I know. It
Yeah.
sucks.
and I'm
That's why I
like,
try my best to stay healthy.
But I go-
If a doctor ever asks, "Oh, anything else you want me to look at?"
Nope.
Say no. 'Cause
Yeah.
They'll
I go-
charge you for that.
I go to the doc and I go, "Okay, what could I have done different?" This is the same thing when my phone broke at Apple. I asked the Apple people. I go, "What could I have done differently?" And they go, "Nothing."
who said that? Apple or the doctor?
They both did.
He's like, "Why are you bringing me your phone? I'm a doctor."
They both told me that
Hey,
I couldn't
Apple,
have
what's
done
up with
anything
my
wrong.
skin?
But doctor, what's up with my iPhone?
Yeah, you're just
And
asking both of them.
And the doctor goes, "Pay me this," and then the iPhone person goes, "Pay me $1,000 for a new phone."
what did you do to your phone?
It broke. I didn't. It just died.
Yeah,
It's an Apple product, is what he did.
Oh, settle down, Nick.
Don't we
So-
love capitalism? Late stage capitalism.
Wow,
But this is
tough.
what I'm experiencing in my life. All I've heard is
You're
all
not
these
even-
people whine and bitch and moan and complain about the American healthcare system, and then now I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
paying for it.
Not great, is it?
That's what you get for not paying attention to politics, Matt.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I'll go and pay my parking meter.
All right, good. So
Yeah,
you'll take care of the
absolutely.
$40.
It's $60 now. $60 because I went to the Jackson Street Tavern and had a 45-minute dinner and I forgot to walk the right way.
This is incredible.
Again, don't go to the places where you have to pay to park.
You know what, John? I didn't learn that yet. All right.
You said you have the app, the Park Omaha app, right?
No, I text park to 77223 every time.
Mm.
Well, that's the same thing, right? That's the same
Exactly.
deal. You're
But I like
going to the same
parking.
place.
I like texting the number. We're pals.
Jeff writes, start the bit that McMaster has herpes. Yeah, we can make a graphic on Canva.
Yeah. No, that's
I actually will be very upset about that. and
Yeah.
I want to veto that. Great.
You don't like that bit?
Yeah, no, it's not a bit.
Or is that a
It's
gimmick?
Well, we can do this thing where he sues us and then we just never pay him.
yeah?
Oh,
it's
excellent.
it's called it being insulting, and I would prefer you not to put it that I have herpes.
Ian of songwriting fame writes, Matt, don't pay it. What are they going to do? Make you walk? Stick it to the man.
Oh, there is a new streetcar they need people to be on.
Oh,
That's true. You'll just be able to take the streetcar to work because I'm sure it'll run right in front of our station.
that's a great idea, John. You're such a smart person.
We got to see if John Ewing.
Remember, the streetcar goes everywhere.
Friend of the Grum, John Ewing. Well, friend of 1620 The Zone, John Ewing.
I know. I should talk to John. I've interviewed him before.
Yeah, we had him on during the College World
Yep.
Series last
Get some
summer.
pull in the mayor office.
That
Hey,
was incredible. That was
Hey,
one of those
Mr.
rare,
Mayor.
we're starting a show with an interview kind of situations because his people brought him a little too early.
I really like what Mr. Mayor has done.
Can he be on at 10:15? Nope. All right, 10 o'clock it is.
I like what Mr. Mayor's done with the street situation in the winter. How they're
What has
not
he
just
done with
letting they're not just letting potholes fester all winter.
Oh, yeah.
You see a
Well,
pothole.
that's because the street's
Taking
under
part-
construction, Nick. So it's you can't get potholes when they've created them themselves by tearing everything to pieces.
saying the city's done a very good job keeping up with it this year compared to every other year I've lived here.
Oh,
Well, we
okay.
also haven't had a lot of snow, and we haven't had we're not in peak pothole season yet. Pothole season.
Oh, we're.
is
Oh, I don't
coming.
know about that.
'Cause we haven't
man.
had much snow.
No, we have not had much snow.
Snow is a
We
huge
haven't had
reason
much
for
icing
potholes.
and melting and the super extremes.
Yeah.
That's what causes the potholes. So we're not in peak pothole season.
I'm seeing a lot. We're not in peak pothole season, and yet it sucks because I see a lot of potholes out there.
Yeah.
There's a
Well,
lot.
those are leftover potholes from last year.
Dude, if you go on Saddle Creek when it turns into center, like that, I am like swerving all over
The
the
very-
road,
Over
avoiding.
by the Burger King?
Yeah,
The very
no,
right,
by where the Russell Speeders used to be,
Okay.
Don and Millie's.
Yeah.
What is that? Saddle
Yeah, it's
Creek
like
and
50th.
Yeah.
the very right lane on L if you're going east. That's rough.
Yeah?
That's really rough.
Hell, wow.
Would you
I don't
guys-
go over there very
Would you
much.
guys pay this parking ticket on a credit card or a debit card, or does it matter?
Well, if you're paying it on a credit card, what you're really doing is just kind of also delaying paying.
I've never missed a payment on my credit card. I got a perfect credit score.
I mean, I would just do it on that if you're going to pay it off.
But
right
like
away.
also if you have the money now, then you do it.
But he can get points if he does it on his credit card.
I get miles. I'm a miles whore. I love it.
Mhm.
Not Tim Miles. I mean like miles for United
Yeah,
Airlines.
you're talking about Jack Mitchell and you're talking about that kind of.
Yeah, no.
asshole.
I love. I mean, I'm gonna book some hotels and stuff with my miles. I already have 100,000 miles. I'm 23 years old.
Prison Matt says Matt doesn't pay his parking tickets. He's swerving all over the road. Get this man's driver's license, please.
No,
Where's your wallet at? I hear that people are missing wallets these days.
you know what? I'm the idiot who misplaces my wallet, but I'm not dumb enough to fully lose my wallet. Okay, there's a difference. There's a difference between misplacing things and losing things. Okay, yes. Have I misplaced my car keys into a trash can? Absolutely. Okay,
Uh-huh.
but
And another person's vehicle? Yes.
Multiple comments are funny. Odson, first of all, says so you pay your credit card bills routinely, but not pay parking tickets. Very interesting.
was
Or
trying to
medical bills.
I just thought it was so dumb, and I was sticking it to the man.
Yeah, you're sticking to yourself. And then Husk writes, is Matt's bit he's an idiot or is he just an idiot? That's a
little-
great question.
Could be column A and column B.
It's
Yeah.
a little bit of both.
Yeah, you got to lean into it. A little
Yeah.
bit.
Oh, I definitely do lean into
You
it.
don't want to work yourself into a shoot, though, where everybody just thinks you're an idiot.
No,
Yeah.
that's what
Don't
It's
do
like
it.
you don't
That's-
want your psoriasis to work itself into herpes. You don't
It was a
want
bit.
Yeah, and suddenly you have herpes.
Yeah.
You don't want that, Matt. Look at that. Success. Good job by you. Good job.
So you just paid your parking ticket.
Yeah, now I'm gonna.
Now you got to pay off your
Doctor.
doctor.
Yep. Go ahead and do that
Wow.
Good
Why are
call.
you doing this during the crossover?
because I think it's a good bit.
All right. Sure. I paid bills.
Well, I
during
think
the
they
commercial break
probably
before.
think it's a really good bit. The collection agency isn't so happy, but
Uh-huh.
What do you mean they got collected?
no, but I'm saying the
Money.
collection agency was hoping that you wouldn't pay it, and then they'd come after you, and then they'd make their money.
No, I've paid my. Hey, kids out there and everybody out there, make sure to pay your bills. Okay.
It's important.
I was just the medical bill was because I was waiting to get paid, and so now I've been paid. I can make it.
There you
That's
go.
us all. What was
That's
happening.
fair. I've been
Mhm.
there.
You know.
Good.
So no, the whole thing to thwart "Am I an idiot?" bit is the 12:30 segment of the Middays with Matt show. That's the
What happened?
Though that's just the segment every day where I just lock in. I'm like, this is why Husker football is failing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just saw a graphic show up on your guys' Twitter feed grading the offseason. Matt, a C. Josh a D-.
Yes.
Whoa.
People yell at us.
Yeah. Well, John and I haven't given our grades yet.
Yeah, fair.
Well, this is what I've called the first trimester grades, right? So the enrollment period is over for Nebraska football, yet we haven't had spring practice, and so
Don't worry, it'll be here in like a week.
and then I know it's so early this year, and
Are you
then
gonna be on vacation again?
and then
I wish.
on top of that, we'll have maybe they add somebody in the summer, get very creative and whatnot, to like add somebody. So maybe you go ahead and you give them a different grade. But the first trimester finals was a C.
I was stunned. So Nick, well, I guess now I'm kind of doxing you. So anyway, I have a marathon coming up, and I was like, this is awesome. It's going to be the day of the spring game, and thus I will miss watching the spring game for like the 8th straight year. But no, they moved it to March 28th. The majority of spring football will actually take place in winter. Can we call it winter football this year?
Winter football.
Winter training.
Like how Amy Just was the one who really started
Darude
saying
Sandstorm?
it's not fall camp, it is training camp. She hates Sandstorm. And so thus we have all taken that mantle with her. It is training camp. I'm going to call it winter football, not spring football. It ain't going to be spring yet by the time that thing starts.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around idle week versus bye week. That's still something.
So bye is something that you...
No, I'm trying to get John in on the conversation.
John knows what's up with idle
He's
versus
so
bye.
I know what's up with this. A bye
he's
is
so
something you
passionate.
get as a pass to the next round, like the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos got byes.
They got to pass into round 2. A bye, you don't get to go from October 4th to 18th because you got gifted it. It is your schedule.
Are you idle week a guy? Too?
Yeah, we're idle weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're idle weeks here.
Idle
Okay.
week, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Now, okay, no, so
Or off week.
Off week, idle week, whatever the case may be. Now, let me bring this up because it came up during the Bills-Broncos game because Jim Nantz incorrectly identified a play as the hook and ladder.
Here we go.
When it is a hook and lateral. So, Josh, if you are an idle person, shouldn't you also be a hook and lateral?
Who
because
cares?
that's what the play is.
Can I ask? Who cares? It's
Oh.
the same
Well,
thing.
who cares if it's bye or idle? We talk
Exactly.
about it.
That's how I feel too. I call it a bye week. That's just what I'll always call it. It does not matter. Hook and ladder, hook and lateral. You're doing the same
It does
thing.
matter. You don't want to sound like an idiot.
Okay, the only people who thinks they sound like an idiot is you thinking Jim Nantz sounds like an idiot.
John, this is how language evolves. People start saying one thing, and then more people start saying that, and then eventually it just turns.
Evolves or devolves. It could
It's
be-
like
could be
Riz.
other-
What about Riz? Do you have Riz?
No.
I have
Do you
Riz.
think I have Riz?
Well, I claim that I have Riz, but I'm the only one that doesn't have a girlfriend
Interesting.
or a wife.
I guess we don't know about Joey. You keep forgetting about Joey.
I do keep forgetting about
Wow,
Joey.
John, did you know this? So according to Wikipedia, the ladder portion of the play could be describing the player running what is called a ladder route. Interesting. So it's a part of the play. So it's actually
you're wrong.
So it actually
that's what you are.
because the
No,
ladder
it doesn't
is a
fit.
route.
That is ridiculous because the hook is the hook route. So you're saying he's running two routes? It's always it's always been you run a hook
there
and
are
then
two
you lateral it to the trailer. That's
it's
what
like
it is.
There's another paragraph. A hook and ladder is a common name for a fire truck, which used to carry various hooks and ladders. The analogies that could be drawn to this play based on the hook route, with or without the actual lateral, and a hook and ladder apparatus are numerous. Long extension ladders include two or more pieces, perhaps the first piece being the hook route, and the second being run up the ladder to the end zone.
Yeah, so this is one of those where it's just like, this is just too much
Someone,
wordy.
no, we all know how this happened. It happened because people had lazy diction. That's
No,
how it
it's
happened.
not lazy
They couldn't
diction.
say the word lateral,
No.
so they shortened it to ladder. That's how it happened.
Incorrect once again, John Bishop. What happened is this. Do you know what sounds cooler than hook and lateral?
hook and ladder. That's why I say it.
Hook and-
No,
Hook
it
and-
doesn't sound cooler.
Yes,
How
it
that
does.
sound
It
cooler?
objectively sounds
It's
cooler.
more marketable.
No, it
Hook and
doesn't.
ladder.
It is more marketable.
Hook and-
You
hook
go to
and
your
ladder.
garage and go,
What
oh, look at that ladder.
Hook
That's
and
so
lateral
cool.
or hook and
What,
ladder?
you want to get sponsored by the Webster English Dictionary, John Bishop, right? Are they paying your bills? Just be cool, like the cool kids.
No, it's not cool. It sounds stupid. It's
Jim
a
Nantz
hook and
announces the
lateral.
Masters. I stand with Nantz.
It's a horse crap lateral.
Horse crap call.
Horse crap word.
It's too bad that John doesn't call football because a hook and ladder play could happen, and then he would start thumbing his. Some people would want to refer to that as a lateral.
No, I would not have time to do that. I wouldn't bother entertaining it.
Hook route to Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's a lateral to Gibbs. That one-eyed John Hussey, what a terrible call.
See, and I hope that if John called football, he would call it a hook and ladder once, so then we could hold it over him forever.
It's like the time that we found the audio of him calling baseball America's pastime in 1990, even though he's like, no, that's not what it's supposed to be called. But he called it that on the radio.
Well, baseball is America's pastime. Football is America's passion, John Bishop.
Nice. That's not. That
don't
wasn't the
give
debate.
to it.
The debate was America's pastime versus John calls it the national pastime now.
Well, that's what it's been commonly known as the national.
Why is it that because we didn't have all 50 states at the time, or what? Why is
I don't
it
know. I don't know who coined the phrase. It's a phrase that was coined century or decades ago. I don't know.
You should get
It's
on
always
that.
been
You're
called
good
the
on
national
getting on a
pastime.
lot of those types of things. That's your bit. That's your gimmick, actually. It's more of a gimmick than a bit.
What's that?
That you find very inconspicuous, long-standing statistics. I think it's awesome. When you go, this is the first time since 1984 that the Huskers have done this. Or something.
Well, okay.
You do that more than most
1984.
people I know.
John knows his history.
You're very good at history. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
You
I
are
look
a
things
sport
up. Yeah,
historian.
I look things up.
I would consider you a sport historian. I would consider
an amateur one.
I
An
think
amateur one.
I would not consider myself a sport historian.
I would agree.
Thanks, Josh. I wouldn't consider you one either.
Screw you.
I think you're just a loudmouth
I know my history.
of football
Yeah, I can tell you about.
And what he ate the day of that game.
and the 2001 World Series.
Yeah, speaking of 2001, John
Champs?
John Walker is going to join us later on in the show. And here's a fun little Easter egg. Keep an eye on what's behind Mr. John Walker.
You just spoiled the bit.
Don't, just keep an eye. Just keep an eye. Just keep an eye.
It's a tease.
That's a tease.
A second John Walker interview has hit
Oh,
1620
now,
the
see,
zone.
now you spoiled it.
Boo.
Yeah.
He's gonna be.
Did you notice that, John? Did you see?
No,
what
I did
was
not.
going
I
on?
did-
Oh, quite
I
funny.
did not, but
It's
now
funny.
I know.
You find it funny.
I found the location of something behind him funny, not the event itself. The event, not funny.
It's, by the way, my joke was
Not funny.
not funny. Space bar, indent space bar. What I'm saying though, it's funny that John Walker was on 1620 zone not once but twice today.
He will be on the zone twice today.
He will be on the zone.
We haven't
twice
had him
today.
on yet.
Yeah.
We haven't had him on.
We're on from 2 to 6
Whoa,
live.
whoa, whoa. Somebody writes in, McMaster is giving John the business. I don't think John likes Matt. That is
Wow.
incorrect.
Well, is
Well,
it?
I mean, you can't tell John how he feels about you.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, maybe over a couple of beers that we've shared a couple of times, John Walker has told me that he likes me.
Oh no, I think he's talking about Bishop.
Oh, I don't think John likes me either, but it's a great bit.
Yeah, John Walker is spelled without an H.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
like the hook and lateral. Who cares?
There you go. What a great end of the crossover.
Unreal. All right, there's your
Happy New Year.
crossover.
Damn it!
No. Well,
Why does
we
Austin
got- we got
Jacobson
the whole-
always do
We
it?
got the rest of the year, man.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. It's only Jan 21st.
I know.
Only Jan 21st.
Hey, good
All right.
job not getting so sports pilled today, though, Matt.
Good job by us.
Yeah, thank you. We got Bill pilled. And I'm not talking about Clinton.
Yeah, Matt paid his bills. What would you rather have, Matt paying his bills or sports talk during the crossover? You decide.
Nice.
I think the
All
latter.
right. Crossover is powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha, everlevelconcrete.com. We will continue. The Grum is coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from KETV Newswatch 7.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Yes, we will get it done. Oh, sorry. Hi, we're back.
We'll get
Welcome.
it done, folks. We're going to get it done.
Man, that was just in the nick of time. I didn't know if literally the nick of time. I had to depend on Nick to get me here on time.
Sportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Oh, that's more like it. Hi, everybody. Don't mind me. I'm just reaching down here into my bag.
Oh, it's so good to be back, John. Talking
Yes,
on the radio
it is. It's
with
good
my
to be
pals.
back. You know what else it's good to have? Sound effects.
Nah, we don't need them that much, do we?
Oh, here we go. Oh, that means when Connor gets here, we'll be able to listen to him shoot. I love it. Yeah, I'm not in prison today. This is great.
You look good. You sound even better.
You sound
Yeah.
so good, John.
It's much better. Welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome inside of the bowels of CHI Health Center Omaha.
That's why we call John Mr. Bowel.
Mm-hmm.
We love it. We love it a lot. Tonight's game between Creighton and Xavier. It's a 6:00 tip. 6:00. It's like the gods are paying me back for all of those weird 8:15, 8:20 evening weeknight tip-offs.
Yeah, you talking about the game? Is it next week? I was looking at the sketch today. 8:30.
Yeah, in Milwaukee.
What are we doing? So you're doing the show next week, the whole show? You won't even have to leave for the arena by the time it's over.
That's true. I mean, that is
8:30. That's ridiculous.
8:30.
Incredible.
Yeah. Well,
He's doing the show from home the next day.
probably.
Oh, yeah.
Probably. It'll be a late night. But welcome to the Grum, brought to you by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people.
What up?
On the Grum Down today, presented by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard, Nebraska stands alone at the top.
Another offseason national championship has been awarded. Congratulations.
No.
Nebraska always wins the offseason.
I know. That's why they stand alone at the top.
No, this is a different sport, different championship.
Okay.
But,
all right.
and of course, a preview tonight because Nebraska is playing. What time is that game?
They're playing at 8:00 tonight.
Oh, well, see, there you go. There's your payback. Creighton gets the early game. Nebraska gets the uber late. Heck, I might be home in time
to watch the very end of it.
Maybe
another.
I may have to just stop by the old arena. By the way, I was going to mention something.
I can't.
I was going to mention something.
Yeah.
So 2 nights ago, driving home. Well, let's finish the Grum Down.
Okay.
Creighton seeks a return to the left column. Because your wins are in the left column, your losses are in the right column.
Ah, I see.
We're going to try to make heads or tails out of the bad vibes off season or the off season of bad vibes.
Oh boy, they're pretty bad right now, folks.
Not great.
John Walker of Omaha.com will be along to help us preview tonight's game
live.
Can't
wait to talk to him.
Dumb debates today. Dumb debates live from the arena.
Early. We're doing dumb debates basically in an hour and 10. So get in your dumb debates questions.
Yeah, use the
hashtag
on
dumb
the
debates. Feed on the Twitter feed
on the Twitter feed,
the Quest Center Twitter feed in honor of a name from long gone,
long ago. The Quest Center Twitter feed at USC 1620. Use the hashtag dumb debates. Get your dumb debates in.
Yeah.
Former Bama star takes homecoming literally.
Oh, that's exciting. Seems like a fun potential topic.
Baffling Bills Boffo blithering.
Oh wow, that's a lot of words.
Baffling Bills Boffo blithering.
That's some alliteration.
Yeah, it was harder than I thought to come up with a synonym for a press conference or speech that started with the word B. So blithering was what I came up with. I hope it works for you.
Okay.
Big contracts.
Oh.
And
Big shoes.
Trey Taylor coming to Nebraska a year early.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
wow, indeed.
Help us, Trey Taylor.
Now,
You're
what
our
was
only hope.
the thing, John, that you were about to grace us
All
with?
right, so the other night, 2 nights ago,
Yep.
I'm driving home, and I took a different route. Normally, I take 84th Street when I go to Lincoln, go home.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Waverly exit for those of you who aren't familiar with Lincoln road work. But I had to pick up my coat from dry cleaning, and so it was easier to take the downtown. So when you go to a Husker game or you go to Pinnacle Bank, you always take the I-180, right?
Uh-huh.
For the first time ever, I have been living in Lincoln since 1993.
Remember?
I drove a perfect drive.
Wow.
I did not
George
hit
Bush?
one,
Look at this drive.
one red light. I did not hit one red light the
God.
whole way through Lincoln.
What a feeling.
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I'm driving like, and if you know your Lincoln traffic, right?
Bad.
If you get in on I-180 at just the right point, you hit every light.
Classic.
So, like P Street, O Street, R Street,
Poop Street.
because they're all synced.
Got him.
But usually, and by the way, I go all the way to South Lincoln. I live way down by
John lives on the wrong side of the tracks, and we're not talking about socioeconomic.
I am literally on the wrong side of the tracks. And I would guesstimate there are probably 20 traffic lights on that drive, on that particular route. And I hit every one of them as green as the New York Jets.
Wow.
I got home.
That's
and
awesome.
The only time I stopped was when I had to stop to get my coat.
Mm.
But there was no traffic lights between there and my house. And I walked in and I proudly said to my wife, I said, I just drove the perfect drive.
Mm.
It was the perfect drive. To which I know I'll get paid back at some point. So, because the traffic gods are not going to be smiling on me from now on.
I get pretty lucky now. Once they did the construction on Dodge over by Crossroads, and the artist potentially known as Crossroads again in the future,
right?
Whatever they did, the lights change, and I leave here at 6, and there are times where the first light I hit is on 168th and Blondo. I mean, it's a rarity, but it happens probably once a month. It is a great life. It is a great life.
It is. It is indeed. It is indeed. Well, as we talked about, that last bit there in the Grum Down.
Oh,
sorry,
God, Lord.
I messed up.
Yeah, here I got it. Here we go.
Meant to move that out.
There we go.
Trey Taylor is coming to Nebraska.
Folks.
No, he is not starting a year early, but it's almost like he is.
Mm.
He announced earlier today that he is going to transfer to Millard South. He is moving from Illinois to transfer to Millard South.
Yep.
In his tweet, he wrote, "This decision was not taken lightly. I'll be living in Lincoln, commuting to Omaha. So any chance I'm allowed in the facilities," speaking of the Husker facilities,
John and
I'll
him
be
could
there.
carpool together a little bit.
I mean, depending on what time class starts for him, I'm guessing we're not going to be carpooling.
Mm.
That is if people actually go to class anymore. I have no idea. Anyway, he writes, kind of redshirt year at a slower pace. Don't want to miss a single recruit that comes in. None of this possible without my coach. And then he attaches his coach from his previous high school and my teammates at the previous high school. Thank you to that community. So Trey Taylor coming to Nebraska a year early and will play at Millard South, essentially just replacing Jet Tamala, who, of course, went to Alabama. I guess the first thing I thought of was, well, at least this time we won't have any Millard South assistants getting accused of housing him. I think that's off the table. So maybe they'll be okay. But then the second thing I thought of was, wow, he's gonna move. I'm assuming by himself. I don't know if either of his parents are going to come with him or.
That's a great
anyone else
question.
gonna
Yeah,
come
for
with
sure.
him.
Yeah.
But he's going to live in Lincoln, drive to Millard South to go to school.
Yeah, it does seem like, by the way, get ready. Other names, I believe, are going to be doing this as well. I've heard from multiple people today that he will not be the only person that is going there for high school. So I think we should all be prepared for this. This is not the first time that this has happened. It's not even the first time it's happened in Nebraska.
High school NIL is crazy.
But it is easily the biggest name. Right, John? This is easily the biggest name. I mean, he's a 2027 guy, so we're still talking about, over a year from now.
He's your presumed quarterback of the future, And, and it's the whole idea of wanting to be here to do the peer recruiting and all of the other stuff. And listen, I'm not saying anything about Trey or his decision or Nebraska or their role in all of this. It takes my 1989 brain. This is like
when you were a diehard Nebraska football fan.
This is breaking my 1989 brain.
Mm-hmm.
Just the idea of that these things are happening. And this isn't the first time. I mean, this kind of stuff is happening in other places.
It's happening
too.
all over the country. Again,
Sure.
This is the biggest name that it's happened to here.
Right. But I can only imagine some of the Lincoln High School coaches saying, well, if you're going to live here anyway, why don't you just come play for me? I mean, I can remember back there. This was going back when I was covering high school sports back in my early years. The best player on Lincoln Northeast, when Lincoln Northeast was winning all the state basketball titles, their best player lived within eye shot of Lincoln High School. And that was the biggest scandal. It was like, yeah, but so-and-so, you can see Lincoln's, you can walk to Lincoln High from here, but he's going to Northeast, blah, blah. We are not living in those times, obviously, anymore.
Sure.
Obviously, we're not living in those times. And, I did notice there were quite a few folks who were like, how does the NSA allow this? Again, my little 1989 focused brain, I can't fathom this anymore. But obviously, it must be on the up and up. They wouldn't have announced it so brazenly and so openly. And they're doing it. And, again, I'm not blaming Trey Taylor. I'm not blaming Nebraska. Nebraska's not coloring outside the lines. There's just no more lines.
Well, yeah, and I mean the thing that I've thought about this now for the last few hours, trying to kind of not come to grips. That makes it sound like I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the end of something, because I really don't care. I feel bad that like there is this pressure on these players at this sort of an age that he feels the necessity to do this. Like I talked to Schaefer earlier, and he was like, I don't think Nebraska's putting pressure on him to do this. This is something that he wants to do. But I would ask this follow-up question kind of from the greater perspective of, does he want to do this, or does he feel like he has to do it to, start his career off on the right foot? And it's just like the disillusion, I guess, of youth. We've seen it a lot with these athletes. There is, again, though, this inherent pressure to perform at such a high level. Who am I to get on the radio and say Nebraska's not doing good enough and then get frustrated that a player is trying to get even better with every avenue available to him?
Maybe what it is he really wants to end up going to Iowa or Iowa State.
Oh,
so he wants to play in Omaha.
You monster. You absolute monster.
Again, no one's really coloring outside the lines.
Correct.
There's just no lines anymore.
It's just odd, right? It's just really strange.
Again, my 1989 brain can't fathom.
What's the weirder part that he's moved? The weirder part is obviously that he's living in Lincoln and going to Millard South, right? Like that's way weirder than just moving here to begin with, right? Like that's the stranger component of this. Why not just live in Omaha?
Is this similar?
Yeah,
to
but again, as he wrote, he wants to be
Good
close
question.
to the facilities. I suppose.
Then why not go to a Lincoln school?
Well, and that's kind of the other part of it. I mean, let's face it. Who's the best program in the state?
Millard South, by far.
Right. I mean, they've. We don't have an IMG Academy,
but they're pretty close.
But
now,
but they're kind of becoming the IMG Academy of football.
Yeah.
Here in Nebraska, and that may not be totally fair. I mean, obviously Westside has had their moments, and a lot of other programs have had their moments in recent years. But Millard South's the hot name right now, and they've been the ones that have cranked it out. And I'm guessing, right. It's also. And I don't know what their schedule is, but they may be playing, some big name opponent from outside the state. Like
will they get rocked again? Because last year, remember, they got smoked when they played outside the state.
Right. And so you're obviously looking at the opportunity to play the best, to prepare yourself. I would assume, again, I'm just assuming, I would assume Nebraska probably gave him some advice on this, or maybe put in a few good words as to, hey, this is where you should go. it's just unusual that, you'll drive an hour out of your way to go to school. But that's the way the things work in this world today. And it's not here for me to decide. Now, as far as, how it works from a transfer perspective and NSAA rules, again,
Mark says,
I can't speak to that.
How does Millard South do this? I thought you had to at least reside within the district. I can understand if they were a private school or prep school. Yeah, that's the part that I don't understand. I don't understand. Here's the other thing too, and they are obvious. The trade in which they are making is tougher competition for way easier competition and the ability to be close. Right? This is a proximity play more than it is he wants to go up against the best. Because if they keep adding players, which again it sounds like they will, from what I have heard over the course of the last few hours, I mean they're going to just destroy people. And it's like playing a video game on an easy level, right? Except this is real life. Like, I don't know. What's the purpose?
Obviously the purpose isn't as much about where he's playing high school ball or who he's playing high school ball with. The real purpose is he's closer to Nebraska. This is, as he put it in his tweet, this is kind of a red shirt light year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's doing this so he can be close to the facilities. He can be close to the program. He can be to every home game. He can be there when recruits are in town. He can work out, where he's going to be presumably holed up for the next 4 years after his high school days are over, assuming there are those kinds of players anymore. That's all. That's what this is about. So, yes, the Millard South component is kind of interesting because he's still going to be driving an hour out of his way. But if this is going to be something that Nebraska and other programs like it are going to continue moving forward, it does make you wonder if we're essentially going to turn Millard South into, Nebraska prep, where it's the prep school for, incoming out-of-state Nebraska football players. Someone else joked on Twitter, hey, this is the way that they can, count it as an in-state scholarship.
Nice. Not going to cost as much anymore.
I guess so. I don't know. But it was interesting. Certainly an interesting story. And a lot of fans, I noticed, just seeing some of the responses to his original tweet, they're thrilled because they're like, man, he's all in. This is kind of taking the place of Dylan being the head cheerleader and, being the face of the program. Trey Taylor's now trying to be the one who's trying to be the face of the program, and he's not even here yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, I misspoke. I thought that that Millard South had gotten beat out of state last year, but they won that game, so I apologize.
Right, that was the game, but they forfeited that game.
Yes. For some reason, I thought that they had lost
that game.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they forfeited, so they lost. Right. But yeah, my bad.
402-951-1620. If you want to get a hold of us, Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, the Twitter, don't forget, send in your dumb debates, and email John at 1620thezone.com, Josh at 1620thezone.com. Equitable Bank inbox. We take banking personally. Answer the phone on the first ring. You know the drill. All right, we'll have that and more as we continue live from the arena here on 1620 The Zone. Hey, quick programming reminder. We have those George Thorogood win them before you can buy them tickets. You can use the sale code ZONE starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. to get those George Thorogood tickets. He's coming to Omaha in May at the Astro Amphitheater. We have some to give away, and we will do that tomorrow here on the program. So
Nice.
I'm concocting a game. I'm still working on it. Hopefully it'll come into my brain soon enough.
Perfect.
Games are harder to do now because people have these phones and they can cheat. You know, they can't just use their brains. You know, they can just look up stuff. So, you know, we'll try. We'll make something work.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something to do with a bourbon, a scotch, and a beer?
That was my first idea, and then I realized it was really difficult. So it may be something else. I have no idea.
Awesome.
Cool.
We shall find out. Tonight, as I am here at CHI Health Center getting ready for Creighton and Xavier. Down the road in Lincoln, it is Nebraska and Washington as the Huskers go for, it's 20-0, right?
19.
Oh, it is 19. For some reason, I'm looking here. I thought they already had 19. No,
They
Washington.
will in a few hours.
I'm not counting you.
Well,
I'm not counting you as a loss just yet.
I will, but yeah.
But Nebraska obviously is a favorite. What are they, about 11.5-point favorite? I think?
Last I saw this morning was 10.5.
Okay. 10.5-point favorite. This is the middle of that stretch where, dare I say, winnable games.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
before
to be fair,
you
all
get
of
to,
them have been.
Before you get to the
Michigan game
well,
next Tuesday.
in the past, we would call it the death stretch. But now that Nebraska's the one doing all the killing, I don't know if we can call it that anymore. We'll just call it the roadblock stretch.
Certainly when the schedule's going to ramp back up again. They're in the middle of a 4-game swing without, with all opponents that they're favored over. They've already won the last two by a lot of points, double digits against both Oregon and Northwestern last week. And then it's this game and then Minnesota over the weekend.
Yeah, starting a week from yesterday.
Yeah.
It will be Michigan on the road, then home against Illinois, and then a week off. At least they get the week off and to play Rutgers, because you want to heal up for Rutgers.
Got to get ready for the Rutgers game for sure.
And then it continues with the home game against Purdue.
Wow,
So,
that's a fun little stretch right there, man.
That is, yeah. In the past, we would say that is not a fun stretch, but now, given where Nebraska is, and given the fact that they are all by themselves, undefeated at the top of the league standings, Nick, take down the bars because we have to show this. Look at that, all by themselves. Thank you, UCLA, for overcoming your incomparably difficult Big Ten schedule, knocking off Purdue last night, and now it is Nebraska alone atop the Big Ten standings at 7-0, with Michigan, Michigan State, and Purdue at 7-1, and Illinois, who I believe has not lost since they lost to Nebraska. That's 7 straight for the Illini. So they have the second longest winning streak behind Nebraska's 18-game win streak.
What a preposterous number.
Well, technically it's 22 because
even more preposterous.
Because they played 4 games last year in the Crown.
But
there it is. Take a picture of it. Enjoy it. But it should continue.
Yeah. Provided
that they can defend the glass. Washington is not. I know they've lost 4 out of their last 5, but they're not a team you want to overlook, only because they do a couple of things that can harass any good team. Number one, don't turn it over very often. Now, they don't generate a lot of turnovers either, so you don't usually have to worry about that. But they don't turn it over a lot, and they're good on the offensive glass. 68th in the country in offensive rebounding rate. And they've got a good inside presence with Hans Steinbach, the German freshman, who has been their leader this year. Good inside, close range. And given that Rink Mast has not played as many minutes here recently, not that he's been necessarily needed.
No, it's been awesome.
But tonight he might be. And so it'll be kind of that give and go because, Mast, who of course likes to generate a lot of the offense from outside the arc, it's going to be that old classic chess match of Steinbach having to come out to defend a guy up top, Rink Mast having to go down low to defend Steinbach. That'll be a fascinating watch tonight. But given, everything that Nebraska has done so far, they should be in good shape. Washington is not a team that shoots the 3 very well. They're only 317th in the country in shooting threes. Now, they don't take a ton of threes either, so they know what their weaknesses are, and they're not going to shoot a ton of threes, but they don't make a lot either. So, as long as Nebraska holds its P's and Q's and does not get punked on the offensive glass, I think they'll be fine tonight. But when you look at what Washington has done, and this is why I caution folks not to get too confident. They played Indiana close within 10 on the road. They played Purdue within 8 on the road. They beat Ohio State at home. They stayed with Michigan. The only game they really, didn't perform well over the last 5 was Michigan State. They lost that one by 17 at home. But all these other games, they have been in it. So don't sleep on Washington.
When you say that, do you say, like, don't get too confident in Nebraska winning by 11 or more points, or don't get too confident in winning the game outright?
Well, both. I mean, I'm not saying Washington will win, but
you don't think that they can be confident yet in Nebraska getting a victory against a team like this that you're favored to beat by 11 points, essentially?
Well, sure, you're supposed to win. I'm just saying don't because right now, I mean, Nebraska's been on a stretch where, I mean, I haven't even looked. They've got to be hitting the cover pretty well too recently. I mean, what were they against Northwestern? Wasn't that like that was like a
4.5?
5.
Yeah,
it was a 4.5. They covered that.
Oregon was
by 17.
Yeah, Oregon was similar to this number. They obviously smoked them, and then the games before that, they were road dogs against both Indiana. That was like 5.5. Ohio State, they were short favorite against Ohio State. That was 1.5 they covered. They were dogs against Michigan State. The last time that they didn't cover, if I remember right, is one of the New Hampshire, North Dakota games at the end of the year, at the end of calendar year 2025.
I'm going to see if I can find that here real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, here it is.
Yeah, they've been on quite a stretch.
They have covered 4 in a row.
Okay, so it's the
they didn't cover Michigan State by a half a point.
Because that was 2.5. That's right.
It was 2.5.
Okay.
Then they didn't cover New Hampshire, but against the Big Ten. Against the Big Ten,
they've only had one non-cover, and that was Michigan State.
1, 2, 3, 4. They're 6-1.
Yeah, so the only one that they didn't cover was Michigan State. Yeah, because Wisconsin they won by 30. Illinois they were underdogs against on the road.
Right.
Yeah, that's
so they're on a pretty good run here of not only winning the games, but covering rather easily as well. I mean, look at this. We've done spread differential when it comes to Nebraska football.
What's that look like for hoops?
So if we just do some quick math, Northwestern was 4.5. They won by 19. So that's what, 14.5 points?
14.5, yeah.
Oregon, they were favored by 10.5. They won by 35.
That would be a 25.5 point number. I'm trying to. Wow. So we're essentially looking at 40 points plus there.
They were a 4.5 point dog to Indiana, but won by 7.
So that's 11.
Or won by 6. So that's 10.5.
So you're looking at 50.
Ohio State, they were a 2.5 point dog, won by 3. So there's another 5.5.
They were a dog against Ohio State?
Yes.
Okay.
They were plus 2.5, won by 3.
So we're up into the mid 50s now.
Right. So I mean, they're and Illinois. Go back to Illinois. Remember when?
What was that number?
That was a 9.5 point spread. They won by 3, so that's 12.5. Wow. So I mean, their spread differential is obscene.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at about plus 10 per game almost.
Yeah,
and that's not even. Well, hey, look at Wisconsin real fast. What's the Wisconsin spread?
Wisconsin. Okay.
Yeah, because they won the game by 30.
Wisconsin was Nebraska was favored by 2, and they won by 30. So add another 28.
Yeah, so they're easily in the double digits per game in terms of the spread differential.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I'm saying. Washington, what is it? 10? You said 10.5.
10.5. Yep.
Now, if that's true, that means they're going to probably win by 20.
Yeah, here's the thing, too, and to go back to what you said at the start of the conversation, Rink Mast, he's been getting to sit a little bit because they haven't needed him lately, which is perfect. Like, the best thing that could happen is that they win the next 2 and they get guys more rest, and then they are ready to go for high minutes next Tuesday against Michigan. Like, that would be, I mean, really the stretch run of Michigan, Illinois, 1 or 2 games, and then Purdue. Like that, you want those guys to be ready to play a lot of minutes because that is going to be the expectation. That is going to be the expectation in those 3 games. Because they don't really, I mean, right now, John, they've already matched the number of wins they had in conference play last year. They win on If they win on Tuesday, we are going to be very much having a can they win the Big Ten or will they win the Big Ten conversation. And they win on Tuesday, and we're also having the, okay, what do they got to do to get a 1 seed? Which, I mean, I still think is like a preposterous, I'm just going to use that word one more time, preposterous conversation to what I would have said 2.5 months ago. And yet, I think that it's very viable if they're able to do that against Michigan next week. I can't wait for that game because they have been outperforming my level of expectation with every matchup. That's the one that I've been just peeking ahead to since Nebraska's, I think, proved themselves to me. That's the game that I've been excited for most just because Michigan has been such a wagon, but they have taken a little bit of a step back over the last couple of weeks with the loss, and they've had another couple games go down to the wire. Penn State on the road, and then Wisconsin at home. Was that game on Saturday over the course of this last weekend?
I just scanned the BART.
Yeah.
Just looking at the projected record. So Nebraska right now is projected
27-4, right?
27-4, which is the same as Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan is projected at 27-4. Purdue is projected at 25-6. And Illinois is, I think it was 24-7. So if we're just using those projections, I mean, there's going to be at least one Big Ten team who's going to be a 1 seed.
Yep.
So the odds of it being Nebraska right now are good. If we're just going by BART.
Yeah.
Because with BART, the losses, and remember, this is all based on probabilities, so it's not a pass-fail, it's by percentages. So even though Nebraska is technically not favored in 2 more games this year, Michigan and at Iowa, because of the percentages, that's why it's 4 losses as the projected record, not 2. But so if we're going to take the 27-4, and when you look at the resume that they built up, yeah, I mean, Nebraska's in the 1 seed conversation for sure. And as long as this tempo, this pace continues, they're going to be in that conversation. If you're in contention for the Big Ten championship, you're in contention for a 1 seed. And that's we're not even counting what is going to happen in either Chicago or Indianapolis or wherever they're playing the Big Ten tournament this year.
I think it's in Chicago this year.
We're not even counting that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Nebraska's easily in the 1 seed conversation right now, would continue to be in the 1 seed conversation, even if, let's say over the course of that, 3-game stretch, 4-game stretch, but it's three of the big boys, Michigan, Illinois, Purdue.
And then who's the other one in there again?
And Rutgers.
Rutgers, yeah.
I mean, let's say against those 3 teams,
2 and
Michigan,
2?
Illinois, let's just say Michigan, Illinois, Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they go 1-2, just for argument's sake.
Yeah.
But they win everything else in the Big Ten. I mean, they're still only sitting at 2 losses.
Yeah.
In the Big Ten standings, and you don't know what's going to happen with the other teams.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're going to be very much in the mix for the
you're very
much
in the mix. And I know, again, you can't look. There might be a stumble. Maybe there'll be a stumble against a Rutgers on the road,
or tonight against Washington,
or because remember, at the end of the season is when they take the West Coast road trip.
Yep, they got those games.
To USC and to UCLA, who just beat Purdue.
They still have 2 games against Iowa upcoming. Like they haven't played at Iowa in either time. Yeah, I mean, even if you're talking about a stumble or 2, you're still looking at a 4-loss team overall. Gary emails in Equitable Bank inbox. Interesting stat: Nebraska's held 6 teams on its schedule to their lowest point total of the year. 5 of them are in the top 101 of the net. 4 of those are Big Ten teams. The other is Creighton. Even crazier, Nebraska has been one of the top 3 worst scoring totals for 12 teams on Nebraska's schedule. Their defense has been, it's been tremendous, and in the games that the opposing offenses have done well, Nebraska's offense has raised their level of play. Obviously it's why they're undefeated right now. They can win low scoring games and they can win high scoring games. And then sometimes they just wipe the floor with teams like they did with Oregon last week.
So I'm going to go back during the break. I'm going to go back and start with the Creighton game because Nebraska had actually lost the previous 3 games against the spread, and I'm going to run the point spread differential.
Okay.
Now I'm very curious because that is 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 10 games.
Yep.
So we'll have a 10-game sample size, of which Nebraska during that time has gone 7-3 against the spread. but their spread differential is going to be
It's a mammoth number.
Pretty obscene. And,
Yeah.
and the only place they're going to get punished is the North Dakota and New Hampshire games that happened sandwiching the Christmas holiday break.
Yeah.
It's just silly.
El Scorch says,
Absolutely
can you
silly.
imagine Nebraska winning a Big Ten championship in basketball before football? Yeah, seriously. When's the last time that would have even been a semblance of a conversation? And yet it is way more realistic. Basketball is way closer to doing it than football is right now. It's pretty wild.
Exactly. 402-951-1620 when we continue. Oh, let's see. Oh, well, we've got contract news. We have contracts.
Contract news. Is this a college sports story or is this a professional?
Well, it is a college sports story.
Okay, perfect.
It's a university of,
No,
he did not. But maybe some people close to him.
Not your story to tell, Nick.
Sorry.
We'll have that when we continue on Unsportsmanlike Conduct in 1620 The Zone.
But first, Josh and John here for Underdog Fantasy. We are now 4 days away from 2 more games in the NFL. We got the AFC title game early. We have the NFC title game late. And right now, you can download the Underdog Fantasy app, and you can make picks and win money in Nebraska. No more do you have to go over into Iowa. You can hang out the comfort of your own couch while you're getting ready to watch some ball. Find a player that you like, that you dislike. Find a stat that you want to go higher or lower on. Touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, so much more. And if you get your picks right, John, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash.
So what are you waiting for? Download that Underdog app today and use promo code 1620 The Zone to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Promo code 1620 The Zone. Do it in time for Championship Sunday and then enjoy it the whole rest of the year. With Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus in present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. All right, I did the math.
Okay.
The last 10 games against the spread, Nebraska's 7-3.
Okay.
The only games they did not cover were 3 in a row, North Dakota, New Hampshire, and Michigan State. But against Michigan State and New Hampshire, they failed to cover by a half a point.
Okay.
The total is 104.5 points, meaning that Nebraska's averaged covering the spread by 10. So the spread against the spread, Nebraska has covered by over 10 points per game in the last 10.
Good Lord.
Which means
Wow.
they are a very low-stress bet for the most part.
Yeah, as long as they're not
They
playing a
cover
bye
and-
game.
Exactly.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's the thing. Don't play the bye games.
Yeah, just put this number up with all the power opponents that they played this year, and you're going to find it to be even higher somehow, which is ridiculous. Chris in Montana texts in, 402-951-1620. In some weird way, does Scott Frost deserve some credit for Nebraska basketball's current success? Scuttlebutt was that the powers that be didn't want to have 2 buyouts at the same time and do 2 coaching searches and subsequent hires. The fact that Scott stunk so bad in some ways could have saved Hoiberg's job? ? Frost saves Nebraska basketball. I wouldn't say in some weird way, and I wouldn't say that he deserves some credit. He deserves a large portion of the credit because I had zero doubt that he would have been fired, Fred, that is, he being the he here, if they also weren't having to figure out the whole Scott Frost contract situation. And so, yeah, that is a large portion of this, which is wild to think about, that it was a bit of timing and a bit fortuitous luck, I would say. Now, that does not then say that there should be no credit given to Hoiberg, because obviously there should for what happened next. But at least the initial decision, absolutely, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Scanning the wire, scanning the wire, scanning the
Is
wire.
that as crazy as John being blue right now?
Listen,
Dabba-dee-dabba-die.
I just scanned the transfer portal wires.
Yeah, what's up? Trey Taylor transferring
No Marty
again?
Brown. Marty
Iowa?
Brown is still
What?
Marty Brown is still with Miami, as far as we can tell.
What does that have to do with Fred Hoiberg and Scott Frost?
Nothing. I was just
okay.
I'm
Or the
just,
price of tea in China.
just doing the service for everyone out there who's wondering about Marty Brown.
Okay.
He's not in the portal yet.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Nebraska made it actually thanks to FOIA.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if they went FOIA on this. They probably just asked for it and got it.
Okay.
We do have the new salaries. The new salaries are in. And we'll just go ahead and say it right now.
Uh-oh.
Sadly, Nebraska no longer has the highest paid tight ends coach in the country.
Oh, no. That's a bummer.
Nuts.
Marcus Satterfield has been docked half of his pay. He's only going to make $550,000.
Dang. That's more than half his pay. Wasn't he making $1.4 million?
Yeah, that's probably a little bit more than half
Wow.
his pay.
That's a huge pay cut.
Yeah.
Nick, we got
Rob
some news.
Orich. Nick's got some news?
Nick, we have news for Nick.
Oh, no. I need
John
that.
and I are getting raises out of your pocket, baby. We're pulling a Satterfield.
Rob Orich, Nebraska's new defensive coordinator, is going to make $1.1 million.
Congratulations.
1.1, which is $100,000 more than what Butler got last year. Butler was at an even mill.
Okay.
Corey Campbell, strength and conditioning coach, will be, well, we already knew this because he did an extension like in October. He's making $1 million. Glenn Thomas, 824. Jeep, Gideon Pigeon Wade the fourth will make $700,000. If you're wondering, how does that compare to Uncle Don?
Yeah.
That's $50,000 more.
Oh, wow. That's it.
Addison Williams is getting a bump up to $650. I mentioned Satterfield. Roy Manning, the new edge rush coach, $430. Jamar Mosey. This one was interesting. Jamar Mosey, who is kind of heading up Nebraska's recruiting efforts. He's in the recruiting office.
Mm-hmm.
He made this list. $425. He got double. He got double his money. He was
Good
making
for him.
$200,000 last year.
That's awesome.
Phil Snow, $416. Miles Taylor, the new safeties coach, $300,000. Corey Brown, new D-line coach, $250,000. And Lonnie Teasley, who's the assistant line coach, $100,000. But there might be there might be some deferred money coming from South Carolina. Maybe, I don't know.
Travis says, what are fans going to whine about now that Satterfield took a huge pay cut? I would say the next running joke, John, will be, well, they'll get what they're paying for with the defensive line if the line does not perform well. That is a minuscule amount for one of the most important positions in football to pay your coach. So let's hope that they got him on a bargain. They
did get him on a bargain for sure.
Yep.
And, of course, not listed.
Yeah. Matt Rule?
No, Mike Eckler.
Mike Eckler. Well, yeah, because he's gone.
He is gone now.
He's gone. John emails in Equitable Bank inbox. Satterfield was terrible at his job, was demoted, and when his contract was up, he took a big pay cut. Rule wants Holgorsen to be the offensive head coach, Orich to be the defensive head coach, essentially lessening his responsibilities. He is also terrible at his job. Maybe it's time for him to take a big pay cut. I don't believe that Matt Rule will be doing this. No. I don't believe that Matt Rule will be taking.
Well, to me, those are a couple of the biggest questions that we have. Is the talking points have been that with Calandria, Dana will be able to run his offense. We'll see. The other talking point is that Matt Rule is going to let Orich run his defense.
Orich.
We'll see.
Sure. Yeah.
We don't know that yet.
Yeah, would you have guessed at this time a year ago that Butler was going to be forced to run Tony White's defense? Like, I thought that they wanted to move away from that, so that's kind of a surprise.
No.
Yeah.
And you know what? Shame on us. I guess we're not asking the questions.
Well, that's such maybe it should be a question. You're right, John.
It probably needs to be.
It's such a weird question to ask. Hey, is this going to be his defense or the old guys?
Yeah. Right, because we knew last year, hey, they're staying with the 3-3-5, but, I don't recall, and I didn't have my ear to every single press conference or every single media availability with John Butler, but I don't recall there being the conversation point about, is this the defense you want to run, or are you running the defense that you inherited?
Sure. I guess we'll ask that question of special teams. Is this your special teams, or is this Mike Eckler's special
Well,
teams?
we know that answer because Matt Rule's already answered that. He said, we've got the teaching progression. They gave us the recipe. We're just going to have different people cooking it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of money, congratulations to Prince Umanmielian. You remember Prince.
Yeah.
He's moving to LSU for a cool $1.5 million.
Very exciting.
Now, half of that's a buyout. LSU actually bought out his NIL.
Your dream is finally coming to fruition.
I don't think this is a scholarship
contract.
If his name is Prince and he's going to LSU, is his new nickname going to be Purple Rain?
Let's call him the email because he got $1.5 million from clicking on an email.
He did.
Good job by you, Prince.
Yeah. So the Tigers are, this is according to reports, that they're going to pay $500,000 to buy out his NIL deal at Ole Miss and then give him $1 million.
This really is, and I saw this joke made by dear friend of the Grum, Statso War himself, Parker Fleming. This really is just turning into soccer. They're getting him on loan. They're paying money for a buyout. This is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
I want to rent this player for a season, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what you're getting.
Very
exciting. Get what you pay for, kids.
Mm-hmm. And he's a good player. It sucks that Nebraska didn't have him. He's a good player.
Nebraska should have got him.
It was wild watching the college football playoff and being like, oh, man, this guy's good. Wouldn't it have been nice to have that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work out that way. So too bad. No. You live and you learn, right? You live and you learn.
You do live and you do learn.
1620 The Zone. We're going to be giving away pairs of tickets to the upcoming Mavs hockey game. They're back home on Saturday at the Baxter, 7 o'clock against Colorado College. And Middays with Matt has your chance to win the way into the game. So be on the listen for that. And remember, we'll be doing our George Thorogood concert tickets giveaway. And that promo code, because the pre-sale is tomorrow. And this is for listeners of The Zone. Starting at 10 a.m., if you use the pre-sale code ZONE, Z-O-N-E, you can buy tickets before they go on sale to the general public on Friday. George Thorogood and the Destroyers, along with Marshall Tucker Band, are at the Astro Amphitheater Sunday, May 17th. Just remember that promo code ZONE, starting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Awesome.
When we continue, The Bills had an interesting press conference today explaining the firing of Sean McDermott and dumb debates.
What?
Still to come right here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct in 1620 The Zone. Back here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, the Zone mobile app. And don't forget our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com and search 1620 The Zone and subscribe, because every time one of our shows goes live on the video, you get the alert and you can watch us as well as listen to us, like some of you are doing right now, and even participate in the always fun and yet sometimes confusing YouTube comment section.
Always.
What a fine community we've built.
We have. They're just friends in there. They're pals. They chat about all sorts of stuff.
Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness.
Indeed.
Something like that.
Indeed it was.
I want to read this email from Steve.
Okay.
Steve is a frustrated Bills fan.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Oh,
Did you
no.
Did you see the
yeah.
presser? How dysfunctional are the Bills? Terry Pagula goes public and blames the coaching staff, shifts blame from the GM on drafting Keon Coleman. What a dysfunctional process. He tried to explain that the Bills organization works as a team and they all collaborate to make decisions, but I'm using his emphasis, not mine.
Sure.
In the presser, he revealed it was a compromise rather than all being on board. Shoot, he threw his own player and coaches under the bus. Unbelievable. So what he's referring to, so Terry Pagula went in front of the Buffalo media to explain his firing of Sean McDermott. And he told reporters My decision to bring in a new coach was based on the results of our game in Denver.
Whoa! It's a single game that caused this to happen?
A single game, which, by the way,
Yikes.
everybody inside the Bills organization from McDermott on down said, yeah, we got jobbed on that no catch, interception call.
Sure.
Pegula said, quote, I want to take you into the locker room after that game. I looked around. The first thing I noticed was our quarterback with his head down crying. Stop me if you've heard anything unusual about a losing locker room in a playoff.
Sure.
I looked around. The first thing I noticed was our quarterback with his head down crying.
I don't want no sissy quarterback.
Spotting anything unusual yet?
No.
I looked at all the other players. I looked at their faces and our coaches. I walked over to Josh. He didn't even acknowledge I was there. First thing I said to him, I said,
"Witness me."
First thing I said to him, I said, that was a catch. We all know what I'm talking about. He didn't acknowledge me. He just sat there sobbing. He was listless. He had given everything he had to try to win that game. And looking around, so did all the other players on the team. I saw the pain in Josh's face at his presser, and I felt his pain. I know we can do better, and I know we will get better. And that's why Sean McDermott was fired. He saw his team was so distraught. They were so down. They were crying.
And Josh
There's
Allen
no crying
didn't
in
say hi
football.
to me.
And Josh didn't even acknowledge my presence.
That's odd, man. It's an odd situation that you would say, I'm making this move even though we feel like we got jobbed. If anything, you would feel like that would cause you to lean more into, no, we're running it back again.
Have you guys ever heard that saying where only sociopaths have places of leadership because you have to be a sociopath to do what it takes to get up that far?
Not that exact phrase, but keep going.
Yeah, this guy sounds like a sociopath. Why won't Josh Allen talk to me? He's crying.
Yeah, Travis says, LOL, don't think Josh Allen was mad about the 3 other turnovers he had. You know, what's funny is I don't think Josh Allen he didn't place blame on the officials. Didn't you know? That was something that I found interesting about the press conference on Sunday or Saturday. He took the blame on himself. He blamed himself for what happened, which I appreciate, rather than putting the blame on the officials. Also, like in that position, I don't think the quarterback wants like that to be the thing that a higher up brings up to him immediately. You guys got jobbed. Like, okay, that's what an odd situation. Yeah, Max says leave the players alone right after that kind of loss. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
By the way, they all, at one point in the press conference, a reporter asked Brandon Beane, the general manager who was retained, why the Bills didn't make the Super Bowl, and Pegula interrupted by saying a bad call.
Wow.
So I mean, the management's still not over it yet, but yet it's also being used as justification to get rid of McDermott. Now, I'm guessing that's not obviously the real reason is they feel like they have hit a wall and want to go overcome that. Yeah. But the fact that they can't even articulate that well in the press conference is crazy. And then there was the part regarding Keon Coleman. Remember, Beane is being accused of mismanaging the roster and not getting Josh Allen a number 1 receiver. Bills, this was from a tweet from Joe Biscaglia, who covers the Bills. He said, Bills owner Terry Pegula just pinned the Keon Coleman pick on the coaching staff and said that Beane, the GM, was being a team player and that Coleman wasn't at the top of Beane's list. So they said that they acknowledged, hey, Keon Coleman, he got drafted because McDermott wanted him, and Beane just wanted to be a team player, and that's why they took the pick. What?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Between this and Admiral.
I mean, this is clear to me. This is clear to me. McDermott is being used as a scapegoat.
Of course.
He is being absolutely used as a scapegoat.
But also the officials are too, which again doesn't make a whole.
And the officials are.
So I feel like you got to pick a lane. I think it would be super easy to decide what to do or to at least explain why you moved on from McDermott. Now, again, we keep talking about it. Beane, I think, should have been fired as well, obviously. But I think it's a pretty easy sell. Look, he's been in charge for X amount of years. We think that we have plateaued. We have hit a ceiling. Whatever verbiage you want to use. It's. I mean, in a way, John, it's like when Nebraska fired Bo Pelini. There are different ways to say what they essentially said where it's not going to come across a particular way. And then it's like, look, we want to take a next step. And for whatever reason, this voice just wasn't landing as well as we hoped it would. But not, the roster wasn't good enough, even though that was my job to do and my job to put a better roster around the players. And I'm still here. How does that make any sense?
But there's 0 point. There's 0 point to bringing up the bad call.
Exactly.
Again,
then keep him if it was so bad.
Exactly. If the call was that bad, then you hold on to him.
Yeah.
And you say, well, we got jobbed. I mean, imagine if Bob Devaney had said, Tom, we got to get rid of you after that Penn State game.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was a bad call.
Bad call, but yeah,
really?
Tom isn't the guy anymore. Yeah,
Really?
so either the leadership has been stagnant and it's time to move forward. You got jobbed, and you're going to run it back next year. You can't have your cake and eat it too, and it seems like that's what they're trying to have here.
So that was, total dysfunction in that press conference, and I'll be very curious to see what kind of coach that they get out of this. And remember, Bean has more power now because McDermott reported to Pagula. He did not report to Bean.
Yeah.
But now with this new power structure that they've got in place and Bean being given the title of president, he's going to so it'll be, owner, GM, coach.
Pesky Blues writes, I'm just shocked that a Pagula-owned and operated sports franchise is being mismanaged. They've done such a good job with the Sabres. Let's get McMaster on the phone to see what that means. But Pesky Blues, I'm going to say that the Sabres are probably doing bad. Context clues.
Yes.
Ha! Those Sabres are idiots.
They don't even have any skates, I hear.
What? Is this true?
They're just shoes out
they
there.
don't. It's roller hockey. That's a tough look, Buffalo. Very tough look.
It's a very tough look. This whole episode. I think personally it's a mistake. I think it is a mistake, but we'll see. But they've now made their bed.
Well, I say this: I don't think it's a mistake, but the reasoning for it is pretty weird, and I don't think that it's going to go well.
Do you trust these people
to
make the smart decision?
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I think it's a mistake, because these people are making the call.
Yeah, well, not great.
Not great at all.
No.
All right. Dumb Debates is happening a little earlier.
Wow.
Today. Yes, because we've got Creighton basketball tonight, 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock tip here at CHI Health Center. We're going to preview that game with John Walker coming up after Dumb Debates. But yes, Dumb Debates is happening earlier today on this Wednesday. You want to send yours in, send them in right now. JTech Construction Zone Twitter page. Oh, I'm sorry. It's no longer that.
It's just the Twitter page.
The Big East Conference logo,
nice.
Twitter page. At USC 1620, use the hashtag Dumb Debates or the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. It is still the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally and answer the phone on the first ring. That's next. Live from the Chai, 1620 The Zone.
But first, Josh and John here for our friends at Underdog Fantasy, an app, a website that you can use from the great state of Nebraska where you can make picks, win money. Again, you can do so in Nebraska. The football playoffs are coming to a close, but still a few games left, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action, whether it's fantasy points, sacks, rushing yards, passing attempts, touchdowns, and so much more. You can combine your favorite players, and if they will go higher or lower on said stats or otherwise. And if you get your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. And John, did I mention you can do it in Nebraska?
Yes, you can. You certainly can. You don't have to go across the river anymore. You can play Underdog in Nebraska. So go to your favorite app store, download that Underdog app today. And by the way, when you're on that Underdog page, look for those profit boosters. They have specials every single day on a variety of different sports. Sometimes you can use it on multiple sports. So watch for it when you download that app. Download that app and use our promo code 1620 The Zone. Score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code 1620 The Zone. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Listeners and not to, we did anyway. Dumb debating.
John's computer sucks, Macs are the only way. Dumb debating.
Fullbacks are running backs, hamburger steaks.
Josh is too dumb to eat a cupcake.
Mail-in base.
Does John like Nebraska or Creighton?
Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debating. Die for the pylon or give up on the plate, dumb debating.
Millennials are great and old should go away. Dumb debating.
Rarely do we find any common ground.
Josh wants his food to be the best around.
Even if it gives him fatal flatulation.
Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debating. When a tree falls down and nobody's around, you can bet your ass it won't make a sound. Water ain't wet, you know nothing about hydration. Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debating. Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debating.
Just had a chance to speak to our friend, Frank Caliendo. You know, he's coming to town. He's here tonight. He's going to be doing an interview with Connor.
He already did
one. Well, he did one in the morning with Connor, and he's going to do one here in the arena. Then he's going to be on with Matt tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, so
Wow.
many interviews with the Zone.
Yeah, but
that's
I
exciting.
believe they are adding a fourth show here in Omaha. So he's got two on Saturday. He had one originally on Friday. I believe they are going to add a late show on Friday. So check out the Funny Bone website for more information to go see Frank Caliendo, who is in town this weekend. He's here already. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it.
Shout out to you, Frank.
We love you, Frank.
All right, this is Dumb Debates. This is, speaking of silly comedy, this is where we answer your questions. Sometimes it's serious. Most of the time it is not. We have some really dumb questions, and yes, we have another bathroom.
I saw that
question.
email. Holy crap. No pun intended.
We have another bathroom-related question today in Dumb Debates. But we answer it all. We've even occasionally delved into politics, not very often, but usually it's like sports or food, just life in general. Poop.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You can send them to this anytime in the Twitter feed.
Nice.
At USC 1620. Please use the hashtag Dumb Debates. Even if we don't get to yours, we archive them for use at a later date, which I have many of them. You can also email your Dumb Debates into the Equitable Bank inbox, John at 1620thezone.com, Josh at 1620thezone.com, which is where Chris's Dumb Debate arrived.
Are we doing the poop one right away or the bathroom one immediately?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
I feel like this was, I thought, like,
you want to
dessert.
wait?
Yeah, I think we got to say this.
You're saying poop is dessert?
I'm worried that if we do this one, this will be the only topic we discuss.
I have a food one that I kind of want to hit before we talk poop.
All right.
All right. Well, here's one that could also be poop adjacent.
Perfect.
This one's from Jake.
Okay.
This is really directed towards Nick.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Would you rather have Tua be the Dolphins starter for the rest of his career, or have Aaron Rodgers for a season and win a Super Bowl? And he writes, make your decision, nerd. So you either get Tua for the rest of his career, and let's just say, for argument's sake, he plays another 10 years.
Okay.
So you got Tua for 10 years, no Super Bowls, or you get Aaron Rodgers for a season and you're winning the Lombardi Trophy for the first time in over 50 years.
I'm going to keep Tua.
Boo! Oh. Terrible.
Wow, Nick, you're an idiot.
Why?
Because he doesn't really want to win.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers, and if they win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, that would be annoying to me. I don't want that.
Your team would win. You'd be able to wear all the merch, and none of the merch has to say anything about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, stop saying congrats to the Dolphins and Aaron Rodgers on winning the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 61 champion Aaron Rodgers, and then in parentheses in small print,
and the Dolphins.
Yeah, but
no,
everybody
it'd be
would
Super
know.
Bowl 61 champion Miami Dolphins. It'd have to have nothing on there about Aaron Rodgers.
Wow,
But
people are
when you
calling
think-
you an idiot in
I
the
know.
chat.
Yeah,
Mustache
you're
Adam,
getting
Jimmy.
lit up in the comments.
But when you
Jimmy
think
is so
about
triggered by
when you
everything.
think about teams that win Super Bowls, your immediate thought is, "Hey, they won the Super Bowl with this quarterback." It's always with blank. You always think of the quarterback.
Sometimes
whenever you
it's
think
in
of the winning
spite
team.
of, Nick. Sometimes it's in spite of.
I'm guessing there's not a lot of Ravens fans that are going, yeah, we won the Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. Yeah, they're
exactly.
just happy they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they say in spite of Trent Dilfer. They don't care. They got the Super Bowl. Wow, this is wild, Nick. That's a wild take.
Gonna stick to my principles here.
Is it really principles? I mean, is he that objectionable?
I don't like him. I don't want him on the team. I don't want Tyreek.
Ryan
on
in
the team
Delaware
either.
says Nick is so noble. Look at you, Nick.
I don't think this is noble. There's nothing noble about it. It's just
Idiotic.
weird.
Idiotic.
I mean, I don't want Tyreek on the team either. That's
well. What if they'd have won? What if they'd have won
you
the Super Bowl this year
sure
with
seem to
Tyreek?
enjoy. Like he was always a monster before you got him.
yeah.
Yeah, and now he's gone, and you're like, yeah, I never liked that guy. Interesting, even though you're always like cheetah. I like the cheetah. He's so fast, the cheetah. But now he's gone. He's like, yeah, he's a bad person. Interesting.
I mean, I thought he was a bad person the whole time. It was just,
You weren't very loud about it, though.
I wasn't very loud about
Very
it.
loud
I mean,
about
if
it, though.
Tom Brady, or better yet, if Joe Montana would have come over to the Rams and won a Super Bowl with the Rams, you know what? I'd be damn happy that he won a Super Bowl with the Rams as much as I couldn't stand Joe Montana.
Speaking of Joe Montana and Aaron Rodgers, one is a Hall of Famer, one will be a Hall of Famer. From my wife, if you're a retired pro athlete and are technically eligible for the Hall of Fame of your sport, but didn't have a Hall of Fame caliber career, would you rather just not be on the ballot at all, or is it an honor to be listed among your peers who do have Hall of Fame resumes? Basically, would you rather never be on the Hall of Fame ballot even though you are good, or be on it but you continually miss it? And we're not saying you're missing it because of like steroids, because we're going to talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame later on.
Yeah, you were just compared, like you were just in a class and then compared to that.
Like I'm trying to think, John, who is a player? Who is the wide receiver for Washington? Who or was it the Bills? Reed, who was always
Andre
on the
Reed.
Who was always on it. And I can't remember. Did he ever get in the Hall of Fame?
No.
I don't think he did. So would you rather be Andre Reed or trying to think of an equivalent who is really good but just never even approached the list? So thus he was never broken.
Don
Beebe.
Beebe.
Don Beebe. Don
his
Beebe.
teammate, Don Beebe.
There you go.
I mean, it's the old adage of, hey, it's just nice to be nominated. It's just nice to be on the, because I'm sure there's been people, I don't know who holds the record for the most Academy Award nominations without a win.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
It would be kind of like that, right?
Uh-huh.
Where you're always being considered most Oscar nominations without a win.
I'm surprised John just doesn't know this off the rip.
Yeah, he does love it.
Here you go. Sound mixer Greg P. Russell, 17 nominations.
Whoa.
Wow.
Here are the actors.
The actors are
Peter O'Toole and Glenn Close.
Right.
Each with 8. Man, that would suck. Always to be the bridesmaid and never the bride.
Yeah, but I mean, or would you just rather, languish in quasi anonymity? Again, I think it's better to be nominated. If you don't win, you don't win.
I would rather be that, because I mean, man, if you are Hall of Fame level adjacent, that means you were awesome.
Yeah.
You might not be the best, but you were awesome for many years.
In some ways, I'll use an example. In some ways, you are more revered by your fans for being the hard luck, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I'll give you an example. Ron Santo.
Okay.
Ron Santo, for years, the Cubs were trying to get him into the Hall of Fame. Never could get into the Hall of Fame. His numbers were just as good as Brooks Robinson. The difference was he didn't have the home run. He didn't have the World Series experience and the World Series moments that Brooks Robinson did. And he died before he actually got into the Hall.
Yeah.
But him not being in while he was alive and being around the team, I think made him more beloved. So I think there is something engendering to, or something that almost lifts you even higher in the viewpoint of your own fans, because they're always taking up your cause. They're taking up your baton, your martyr baton. And
Hall of Fame baton.
Yeah. So I would definitely rather be that one than be, I was good, but I was never good enough to be nominated.
Okay. I like that. One quickie before we do the toilet one from Stibbs. How many more years of football incompetence would Husker fans be willing to give for a basketball national championship / undefeated season this year? So not only do they win it all, but they're undefeated. How many more years of slop football would people give for that? Another decade?
I have no
Would that be
idea.
worth it? Another decade of slop football? 2
Slop?
decades for undefeated hoops?
This
Slop
is a better
football?
question for Jack Mitchell than it is for me.
Yeah, we should ask Jack that. You're right.
I have one.
Okay.
What is the best type of French fry? You got crinkle cut, curly, beer battered, whatever. What's
Definitely
the best
not beer
version
battered.
of a French fry?
The
Yeah,
answer is
get-
definitively not beer battered.
Anything battered, no battered fries from me.
Popeye's number one.
No,
Isn't that battered?
Lord. Yes, it's battered.
Just wanted to trigger John.
And it's gross.
I like a good curly fry is my favorite, but not the ones with seasoning all over them. I think curly fry is a great vessel for dipping and crunching.
See, it's interesting you say that because I think that crinkle cut might be the best dipping fry
Because of all the little...
because of all the ridges.
yep.
Ruffles have ridges.
Mhm.
I think they pick up the sauce that you're dipping better.
Fight says waffle. I do like a good waffle fry. The problem with waffle fries is often they can be under or overcooked. And so it's stop turning up the sound effects, John.
Well, Connor
Answer
was,
the
Connor
question.
was shooting.
Oh, I see.
We got effects, Connor. Yes, we do. We got effects.
Oh, another brick.
Nope, that wasn't Connor's. That wasn't.
Well, it certainly sound like it. No, brick.
Jeez, Happer, I thought you knew ball.
Yeah, so much for knowing ball.
Actually, there's people shooting at both at basket, so Connor's not shooting at the moment. Anyway, I think the answer to me is crinkle cut, especially the. I'm just using this as an example, the Raising Cane's version of crinkle cut.
Absolutely. That's actually what inspired this question for me.
Because I like the Runza crinkle cut.
Yeah.
Again, onion rings are better. But I like the crunch to potato ratio of the smaller crinkle cut fries. So it would be in that. And there's something about the crinkle cut. It just somehow holds the seasoning, the salt better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
The older I've gotten, the more I've come to appreciate the crinkle cut fry. I was a curly fry guy, but I think crinkle
cuts are good.
Crinkles are best. Worst is shoestring.
All right, John, let's get to it.
From Chris. You can only choose one for the rest of your life. Option 1. You can only use the toilet or toilets in your own home. Option 2. You can use any toilet except for the toilets in your own home. So you either have to be like Damon Benning and only poop where you live. Or you have to be anti that and you can only poop where you don't live.
So and wait, you got to read the rest of the email, John.
Alternatives like diapers would apply to both.
Now, do alternatives include going to bathrooms, like go and pee outside?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's still allowed. But if I'm at a park or a running trail and there is a porta potty, that wouldn't count, right? If I choose the home option.
The alternatives mean that you just can't go out into your backyard. You'd have to go into somebody else's garden.
I consider a porta potty a bathroom.
No,
It
that's
is.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm
It's a
saying.
toilet.
So if I choose home, I'm not allowed to use a porta potty, but I could just pee outside, right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because a porta potty is still like a bathroom, in some regard.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put the property value or property radius on this. You can't do it in your own yard.
Okay, so you have to leave
So
literally
you
your yard.
have to go into the neighbor's yard.
Whoa. If you
So if you're gonna-
choose,
so
if you
you're
choose
gonna-
anywhere else.
So if you're going to avoid using other people's toilets, you also have to avoid. You have to avoid your own backyard.
So here's where the problem really shows up.
Pop over to your neighbor's house. Hey, can I get a cup of sugar also?
I got to pee in your yard.
Where's your bathroom?
The biggest problem is when you travel. The biggest
Yeah.
problem is traveling. Because I think you can figure out whatever way you choose, home or road, you're going to be able to figure it out in your hometown. I mean, if you choose road, traveling, you're fine. If you choose home, though, you're basically never able to travel again. And you either need to work from home or live close to home so you can leave your work just to go pee.
You pretty much have to pick the road option if you ever want to leave your house.
Yeah, which I do. I like to leave. I like going places. John, you travel
like
all the
going
time.
places.
Yeah,
So if
there's no way
John
I could
chose
survive.
home, he would have to be peeing outside in New York. I mean, people do that, I guess, in NYC, so you would fit right in, John. But think about it in the building right now. Where would John go?
Yeah.
in his pants, in his diaper-infested pants. Into a four. What was that game you called a few years ago, John? That went to like 4 overtimes. Was that Seton Hall?
That was Seton Hall.
Your diaper would be full of mush.
No.
Mushy.
Okay, I've never had to. Well, knock on wood.
Let's hope it doesn't
knock
happen
on
tonight.
wood. I've never had to poop during a game.
This one's an annoying one for me because I'll do it if it's an emergency, but I hate pooping in public toilets. I only like to poop at my house if I can help it. But
Connor shooting. Oh, he made it! Oh, he made it!
Did he though?
Max says this is actually a super easy choice when you talk through it for a minute. Yeah, I think the answer is road, but I will say this. So it's Friday
I
this
live
week.
near a gas station.
Friday is going to have a low of like negative 15. You wake up at 2 a.m. and you really, really got to pee. What are you doing? You're going to your neighbor's yard at 2 a.m. to pee, and then the cops are getting called on you, and now you are a sex offender.
Or
congratulations.
find a
Yeah,
public
because
park.
now everyone's got the stupid cameras, right?
Everyone has the
There's
stupid
this
camera.
neighbor we have that every time we walk by, they've got the camera attached to the garage, and when they walk by, I can hear the little ba-dink, ba-dink. It's like taking pictures of me and Wrigley as we're walking by the house. And so, yeah, now everyone's got the cameras. So even if you went outside in 10 degree below weather to drop a deuce in your neighbor's bushes, first of all, you got to traverse the snowbank. Secondly, you got to avoid the cameras.
Is there any? I mean,
this is a terrible question, Chris.
I remember
this is a horrible option in life.
I remember in college and how annoying it was to have to go to the bathroom, like walking down the hallway to the restroom. Imagine a world like this where you have to go into your neighbor's yard just to go pee. And what if you, for God's sakes, what if you have to go number 2?
Well,
now would a workaround be
Stib said a portable toilet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would a workaround be you just haul around your own portalette?
I mean, I guess
you just get a trailer and you put a portalette in the trailer and you just haul it around. So when you have to go to the bathroom, you just walk across the street where your trailer's parked.
Yeah.
And you just use the portalette. And now everywhere you're going, you're just taking the portalette with you.
It's a great question.
And then you've got to learn the whole procedure of getting it emptied out.
Oh,
it's like that scene in Platoon where Charlie Sheen's having to pull the stuff out and
never seen it.
On fire.
Yeah, we did it for Movie Club.
We did?
Yeah.
We did Platoon?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember that one. Sonny says Josh's neighbors would be like, why is that guy always pissing in his yard? Yeah, then your neighbor's like, what are you doing?
If I did this, I would have to come up with a string of what I would call safe bathrooms in different time periods in which I think they're the best. Like gas station, I'm going to go at night, but after they cleaned it.
Yeah.
Like at work, it'd have to be like in the morning before anybody else has ever been at. Like I would go crazy doing this.
Yeah, this is a tough question, which is why it's a great
Travis
debate.
suggests maybe an RV. That's
Cousin
that's
Eddie in Christmas Vacation.
It's certainly more expensive than the portalette.
There's an RV.
But so yeah, you just get an RV and you park the RV across the street.
Not a bad
idea. That
idea.
becomes your bathroom. Now again, you still have to empty it out and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then you would have to drive the RV everywhere.
Yeah. So you're bringing the RV to work. Hey, Keely, just to let you know, I have an RV now, and this is where I will be parking.
Keena, sir, are you unhomed? No, I'm unbathroomed.
This is
that's a tough one.
We have found some workarounds, but they're not the best.
Yeah, this is going to
not
be
the best.
This is going to be tough. Yeah, and people are reminding us about wiping. Yeah, this is oof.
Yeah. And imagine there are some people in this world that they have to shower after every time they do that.
Can you imagine a world in which you have to shower every time you drop the deuce?
Gym membership.
I don't
get a gym membership specifically for the bathroom.
I
showers.
can poop and live
Gym
my life
membership
all the day.
Sir, will you be using the exercise bike, the weights, the running track? No, I'll be using the bathroom.
The toilet.
I'm just a member here to use your restroom.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We got more to come. John Walker's going to join us. We're going to converse about the off season of our discontent.
Oh no.
The
bad vibes off season.
The bad vibes off season, or the off season of bad vibes.
It rolls on.
We gotta come up with a universal name for it, but we're gonna do that as we continue.
Is that the next topic? What's the name for it?
No, it could be.
Let's just debate dumb debates.
Oh, continue.
Dumb debates.
Bad vibes off season name.
What
edition.
should we call this off season?
Yeah.
Is it the bad vibes off season? The off season of bad vibes?
The vibes bad season off.
Got it.
Yep, I nailed it.
Season is off with bad vibes.
Stip says, "Hey Damon, they're talking about your ass on Unsportsmanlike Conduct."
Again, it comes up a lot.
It does. It does.
Listen, he's the one that brought it up, not me.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll have that. We'll have more coming up. John, Josh, and Nick here on a Wednesday. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Don't forget, join Middays with Matt and the Grum. We will be on the road a week from Friday for the annual Creighton versus Cancer Pink Out broadcast. We'll be live at the American Cancer Society's Hope Lodge, just up the street, 8030 Farnham, down the hill from Children's Hospital. It's our annual paper drive where we will be taking up paper products, other household items that can be donated, cash, gift cards. These are all to help support the Hope Lodge, which is a home away from home for cancer patients and a caregiver who have to stay in Omaha for extended life-saving treatment, especially those who are far away from home. It's a great way for those people to not have to pay for lodging, which certainly accounts for a lot more of the stress and the strain on budgets. It's been one of our favorite moats of the year. And of course, it's all in conjunction with the Creighton versus Cancer Pink Out game, which will be on Saturday, the 31st against UConn. So again, the Grum and Middays with Matt will be live 10 to 6. Hope Lodge, Nebraska, 8030 Farm. We'll have more details and places that you can donate online if you can't join us live coming up in the coming days here on the program. So Nebraska's offseason has been an adventuresome one. Nebraska did fairly well in the portal, at least in terms of maintaining the people that they wanted to get. They've also added a few folks, certainly, and conversations will be had, and I'm sure we will have them regarding where we think Nebraska's upgraded, where maybe they haven't upgraded enough, where maybe they've fallen off a bit. But we've been going through the process of just, gaining, what folks are thinking about the team. And yesterday we did a poll question, and it was based off of the championship game and the win by Indiana. And the final results of that poll continue to show the growing pessimism or frustration that exists in Nebraska. So our question was, how hard do you have to squint to see the current leadership group, aka Matt Rule and company, accomplishing what Indiana accomplished, meaning winning a national championship? Obviously, they're not going to do it in 2 years because they're already moving into year 4. But just the idea of being able to take this team several levels up in a relatively short period of time. 72% took the most negative option, with only 1.5% taking the most positive option of a little squinting. But 72%, and if you combine it with the last two options, which was, and by the way, the options were a little squinting, medium squinting, hard squinting, or close my eyes and dream because I can't see it. It was over 92%. Wow. Picked the hardest or the worst options, which kind of lends itself, and we've done the first phase already of our 4-phase poll question. We've never seen this kind of pessimism.
No.
So we've kind of dubbed this, for lack of a better term, the bad vibes off season, because that's what it feels like right now. My question is, what is going to change it? What can change it? Is anything going to change it? Is this going to linger all the way through? I mean, at some point it's going to subside a little bit because we're still kind of on the heels of the end of the season. So it's still kind of fresh in our minds. But, once you get to spring, hope springs eternal. We'll see some of these guys in action. We'll get a traditional spring game. And I think that's probably going to inflate some expectations a little bit.
Probably. I think you're probably right there.
Because you're going to see some actual football. I'm using air quotes for those of you who are not in the video stream. You're going to see some actual football, and there will be a few folks that will say, oh man, that guy looked pretty good. And this line's going to be really great. The defense certainly can't get any worse. Oh, and special teams are going to fall off a cliff just because of Mike Eckler. I mean, there's going to be some of that. I anticipate that as we get closer this season, it'll get better. But better in a relative sense compared to where it has been. And I just feel like there is an entrenchment of folks right now who are just like, I can't do this. I can't take this anymore. This is frustrating. And I'm just going to carry this with me until this program, this particular program under this head coach proves me wrong.
You're at the arena right now, and the analyst for tonight's game is our dear friend Nick Baugh. And I mentioned that because there is a drop that they play often on the Schick and Nick podcast where it is a callback to the Scott Frost era, where Nick says everything Frost says is met with, and he's trying to say cynical skepticism, and then he stumbles over himself, and off to they go. And they always have a good laugh about it. But I can't stop thinking about that quote from Nick as it pertains to Nebraska football at this moment in time, where everything Matt Rule says is met with the same cynical skepticism. And I got to slow myself down when I say it, John. Everything he says right now. You know, we have had a few listeners going back a season and a half, 2 seasons, who I think have been really frustrated by Matt Rule. You know, our listeners might recognize their names. Emailer John, of course, there's Greg in Myrtle Beach, among others, half of the YouTube chat these days, where they have kind of been on this train for a while. And I think that they are like a church revival where their tent is growing in recent months for a variety of reasons. And I think that it starts with the play on the field. I think that what worked in his benefit, his being Rule's benefit for so long, and that was his ability to, if you will, to keep the revival conversation going, the gospel of Nebraska football. I think after so many years with this guy who didn't seem happy to be here, and it always felt like a burden that Frost was the coach of Nebraska football, even though we thought he would love it more than maybe anybody before him. I think that there was this want, a guy who wants to be here, finally a guy who gets it, finally a guy who understands. So far, I think you pointed it out really early on after he got hired back in 2022. Like at a certain point, this stuff is going to turn if now leads to this offseason. And my God, John, everything he does say is now met with that. Everything he says, you know, and I know people have gotten a little tired over the last week and a half of the Mike Eckler conversation, but I think that this shows that as well, where he says those things on Friday. And I think even the ardent supporters of Rule are like, what is going on right now with this place? What is going on with the end of the season and things that have unfolded? And so to go back to your original premise, the conversation, bad vibes offseason, I do wonder what that looks like. I think you nailed it. Spring game, football being played, like people will get a little excited for that and they'll see stuff and they'll, as always, we'll talk ourselves into various things happening over the course of the rest of the offseason. But you said something when we put out our first poll question about how this is going to have that 2021 offseason vibes. Man, the early returns, John, it's actually worse.
It is.
You know, that poll question is 3 weeks old. I think it's worse than it was because there was still this belief, right? Coming, maybe when COVID won't be here and then things will get back to normal. This is, I really think we're in uncharted territory, at least in terms of the perception of the program and the head coach as it goes into year 4.
And by the way, just to refer back, what we call the positivity vote was sub 50% in our phase 1 poll. And it's asking you what you think the winning or what the record is going to be in the regular season. And again, it's just strictly, how you feel in the moment. And we do this just to compare, well, how are people feeling? How are they feeling going into fall camp? How are they feeling right before the beginning of the season? And every year the numbers climb. But this season is starting lower at a lower base than any year that has preceded it. First time ever that the folks who think that Nebraska will win at just 6 games or more is less than 50%. Some of it too, certainly, schedule based, because you're going to see all 3 of the Big Ten's playoff teams on that schedule, including Indiana. But it's also how they feel just about the team in general. And I think right now, Matt Rule is in a spot where would it help him if he backed off and said a little less and did a little more, and I guess, when I say do a little more, not implying that he hasn't worked hard and that he's not a grinder and he's not one of those, coach's office rats to spend 20 hours a day grinding tape, does work hard. But I think there is an element of pushback that comes with, well, we're tired of hearing about it. And this last year really amplified it because of all of the talk of, well, year 3, this is my year 3. And you don't normally hear coaches quoting their own press release.
Sure,
and
yeah,
yet,
exactly.
And yet it happened, and he doubled down on it. He tripled down on it, and it didn't happen. In fact, it didn't happen in a spectacular way because they had a chance to make it happen, blew the lead in the second half against USC, and then proceeded to get blown out against 3 teams who had a pulse. The only win was against, UCLA, who was at the bottom of the conference. So that's where a lot of the frustration is. And at this point, and I'm not saying I guess I am saying he should probably back off a little bit, just because I think it's always going to be met with this skepticism and this pushback. And then there's another part of this conversation that we've never had to deal with before. And that is, you wonder how the basketball team's performance is going to affect the mindset of the fan base. Now, they haven't had a great season like this. This ends up being the special season that Nebraska basketball fan has always wanted. You have a lot of people, which is natural, who, when they see a team's doing well, they attach themselves to that train and they're like, man, we're ready to go. We're pumped up. We're fired up. And it comes with a coach who was very much embattled, who had to fight through a lot more adversity than Matt Rule, and has come out clean on the other side and has taken this program to heights it has never seen before. If this, and I don't even know what the number would, let's just say they played in the second weekend is where it happens. There's going to be a lot of great buzz that comes off with that. And I'm already seeing a lot of this. It's not so much look at what Signetti did. It's look at what Hoiberg's doing. And why can't you do this? Nebraska been amp up some of the angst that people have with the football team because they know Matt Rule can get whatever he needs. They know he has all the money to go out and get the players, whereas every story about Nebraska basketball has been, well, they're going to have to make more with less. They're not going to have the best NIL pool. And while that is neither here nor there in the construction of this particular roster right now, which features a lot of older guys, that doesn't matter to a lot of people. They're just going to look at the surface level stuff and say, well, he's doing it. Why aren't you doing it? And you get a lot more resources than Fred does. And so increase the frustration I think that the people have.
What do you think about the other side of the argument? Because I don't think you're wrong, but they're going to say, yeah, but this is year 7 for Hoiberg. He was able to go through growing pains, and now he has come on the other side of it, like Andy Dufresne crawling through 500 yards of smelling foulness,
Yeah. There will be.
Remember, Rule said that a few weeks ago. I'm trying to do what Fred is doing, which is quite the walk back of the year 3 stuff. But now he's saying, no, give me the time that Fred Hoiberg received as well. Because you are right. Like, I'm with you on this. Like, I don't think you view the Nebraska basketball story and then try to apply that to football. The lesson there is, wow, look at what he has overcome. Not, wow, look, he was given the 7 years. And regardless of what happens in the coming seasons, football deserves the same level of grace. They put too much money and too many resources into it. Like, we don't have time for it today, man. But watching what Indiana just did, in a way, I want to now ask more of Husker football again. I've really lowered my expectations in recent years. I think that everybody has heard that who listens to this show. I think you have lowered your expectations in recent years. Everyone's doing the same question of, like, can Nebraska win a natty now that Indiana did? I mean, good Lord, John, like, if they can achieve that, a 16-0 season, one of the more dominating regular season and playoffs that we've seen in the, let's just say, in the playoff era. Why should Indiana went on the road at State, and I know they were a lesser version of themselves, at Oregon, at Iowa, they beat all of those teams. They beat Alabama. They beat Oregon again by 1 million, and then they won the national championship. But boo-hoo, Nebraska plays Indiana and Oregon. And I know they're a much better program. They are the literal national champions. But man, I feel like we got to start holding Nebraska football to a higher standard again, because we haven't been doing so for quite some time.
No, we certainly haven't. But and I've seen some folks use that argument, as Matt Rule has, that, hey, they gave Fred the time, give us the time. But as we know, the historic expectations of the basketball program and the football program are too, and that's not going to be changing anytime. All the stuff that he did at Iowa State and said, well, this is what I did at Iowa State. And I still think that sticks in a lot of people's craw about how there are a lot of big embarrassed expectations. And that's what's making people angry and frustrated right now. And there's really nothing that's going to change that between now and September. There really isn't. So what can you do about it? I guess you press forward and you try to let your actions speak louder than your words.
Yeah, and I mean, to go
maybe less of the promising and more of the delivering.
Yeah, and putting a bow on this conversation, attended college. So that's Bill Callahan onward. There has never, ever been someone more in tune with the conversation. And my question now for the next 7.5 months before the next season is, how does that show itself? Because, look, it's so easy. He should stop talking. Okay, that first of all, that will not happen. At the very least, he will be doing press conferences, right? Like, they will have spring practice. He will opine about the practices. He will tell us who is impressing him. Those types of things are going to happen. I don't think he's just going to up and stop doing interviews elsewhere or podcasts elsewhere. But the promising component, which was very much a thing, I would say, even going back 2 years ago into the 2024 offseason, and it really got loud in 2025. That type of stuff, I think it's not even going to fall on deaf ears, John. It's going to fall on angry ears. And so I wonder if that is something that he pivots. Let's use his words. Maybe he tweaks. And instead of just doing, going the exact opposite way, he changes his tact just a little bit. Or, given how we talked about Eckler, maybe I'm asking for something that probably isn't going to happen. So we'll see. But I keep wondering about that. I'm always so interested in the mindset of this place and the reaction of this place and how they hear things and what lands in good ways and bad ways. And wow, I don't recall anything like what we have seen so far since the season ended 3 weeks ago.
All right, stick around. We got more coming up. Don't forget Creighton basketball, 5:30. So the show is ending a little early today. 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock tip. Yes, 6 o'clock tip, the way God intended. Except for those of you who get off work at 5 o'clock.
I was going to say, what about our poor friends?
Traffic.
Yeah, and the construction. Isn't there still things going on downtown? Buildings being built.
Don't be surprised if every road is blocked on the way in. We'll be back. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Well, it was a month ago that, coming off one of their ugliest performances of the year, Creighton put on its best performance of the year, a 98-57 win at Xavier, which is still an almost incomprehensible concept to me, given how that building can be rather intimidating, though it wasn't that night. And the Jays put it on Xavier as they started their Big East season. But tonight, whole different ball game and different vibes kind of surrounding these teams now as they enter kind of the mid part of the Big East schedule. Here to help us preview tonight's game, which will be at 6 o'clock tonight. Remember, 6 o'clock tonight for those of you who have tickets or planning on watching or listening. John Walker of Omaha.com. John, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Always a blast, guys.
So it was a month ago, because this was the first full game since, well, it was the second full game since the lineup changes, because it happened against Kansas State, but this was, the first time we actually saw it work. And it did work for a little while. Creighton got up to a good start in Big East play, and now they've just been swapping wins and losses over the last couple of weeks. Do you feel like there's another rotation or another lineup change coming at some point?
I didn't think so until the Georgetown game, when I believe Tom Chattel asked Mac just about the general outlook of the season and how it's been for Mac and the challenges, the ebbs and flows that the Jays have handled. And Mac said somewhere in a lengthy answer, like, we've settled on a lineup for now. And I was like, oh, for now. So like the only thing I could think of if there was a lineup change coming would be like Ty Davis coming out of the lineup, which is so hard to do because even though he hasn't scored, his fingerprints have been all over what Creighton has done lately. But the problem is he hasn't scored, and the offense with Josh Dix stuck on the other team's best scorer for 40 minutes. Like, the offense could badly use another scoring threat. And thankfully for the Jays, like, Jason Green has stepped up in a big, big, big way in that regard. So I don't know. That's really the only thing I could think of. And that's not a knock on Ty at all. Because again, he has played his role so well. Like, there's a reason he's still in the starting lineup. But the same thing that Max said in December when he made the switch initially, like, you can't just keep doing the same thing if it isn't working. And Tuesday's availability made it sound like this program has done a lot of self-reflection lately. And so I think if there was going to be a lineup change, we'd see it soon. Do we see it tonight against Xavier? I have absolutely no clue. And maybe that's the fun in all of this.
Yeah, that quote yesterday, John, you mentioned the Tuesday availability. McDermott says, as a coach, you want to know what's going to happen when you put a player on the floor. Like, first of all, that's quite the quote, regardless of timing. It's mid-January, late January when we're hearing that quote.
Yeah, and like I had it typed out initially with that tweet. Like, from my 2.5 seasons on the beat, I would say that quote is essential to understanding Greg McDermott's decisions. And that's why previously a guy like Mason Miller, even when he wasn't hitting shots, was still playing a big role, because Greg McDermott knew when he put Mason Miller on the floor, he was going to crash the glass. He was going to dive on loose balls. He was going to do all of the scrappy things that some guys didn't do or weren't willing to do or whatever. And so, all offseason, I said, on top of him taking another jump as a player, like, that is why Jason Green always had a leg up on any of the 9 newcomers, because this is his 4th year in the system and he understands what Greg McDermott is asking. So yeah, that was a pretty telling quote, Josh. As a coach, you want to know what you're getting when I put a guy on the floor. And I think that's so important to Greg McDermott in kind of how Creighton operates.
And John, it was kind of that same justification that was used to pull the red shirt off of Hudson Greer because of what Greer was able to do on the practice floor. There were things that he was doing where Mac was like, okay, I've got to play this guy because he's doing things that certain people aren't. And of course, then Greer goes down with the foot injury. He misses some time, and we haven't seen much. I mean, the only extended minutes we've seen were in garbage time against St. John's. So how does Hudson Greer factor into this conversation as we, get closer to February?
Yeah, it's really interesting because in my eyes, from a roster construction standpoint, like Hudson Greer and Blake Harper were interchangeable. Maybe not in their skill set, but what this team needed on the wing. And obviously some of that thinned out when like Isaac Trout had to start playing the 4 and 5 more because Jackson McAndrew got hurt. And then obviously Karam and Owen, like that whole situation, like things have kind of shifted and opened up right in the heart of the lineup. But in my eyes, I figured during the preseason, if Blake Harper had a big role on this team, it probably meant Hudson Greer didn't. And if Hudson Greer had a big role on this team, it probably meant Blake Harper didn't. And so that's kind of what I thought. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. Like Blake Harper has found his role in this rotation. And we saw that against Villanova when they literally had no answer for him. And we saw it again at Providence. Was that right? Or what did he have 16 in? Georgetown, Providence, one of those two?
Yeah.
Can't remember which one. And 5 games in 12 days will do that to you.
Yes, it
does. So like he was key in the Villanova win, and then he was key in another game. And yeah, in the time that Hudson was off the court, out of the rotation with his foot injury, like that is the time that Blake Harper used to settle into the extended minutes that he probably wouldn't have had otherwise if Hudson never got hurt. Take Vegas, for example. And so that really changed everything. So like, yeah, what do you do now? Like I asked Mac before the Seton Hall trip, maybe, like you guys are like settling in on a rotation. How do you possibly integrate Hudson back into this thing? And his big thing at the time was like getting Hudson back in game shape.
Yeah.
But like he's played very, very, very few minutes. Had a very limited role since returning. And so it's like, okay, do you just, again, stick with it? Because at this point, as we said a few minutes ago, like, what you're getting with Blake Harper on the floor. I don't know. It's a sticky situation for sure. Because there's an alternate reality where Hudson doesn't tweak his foot or whatever against Oregon, and he never gets hurt and doesn't miss games, and he takes the role that Blake Harper has now. Or I don't know, maybe he's a part of the starting lineup change post Nebraska. Like you just never know. But that's an alternate reality for a reason. This is the one we're in, and who knows?
John, speaking of lesser minutes and alternate realities, I'll be honest, I can't ever remember covering a situation or watching a situation like what we've seen with Owen Freeman this year. It's wild, like being on Twitter during games and just seeing, and it's a lot of the burner stuff, right? But just knowing the conversation is out there. It's not like you've been in the business for 40 years, right? So but like, I wonder, like, how shocking is this given the expectation and we know about the injury stuff before the year, but like, this has to be mind blowing that we're in late January. And I mean, didn't even play, has barely played any minutes over the last month or so.
Yeah. I mean, Friday was the most shocking thing of the season as far as the Owen Freeman situation goes, because in a game that the Jays could have ever so badly used a paint presence, Owen Freeman had a DNP. And so it's like, this guy was supposed to be such a significant part of what Creighton did and was supposed to do, could still do, I guess, this year. But he hasn't been, like, at all. But I have his game log pulled up. So 6 minutes, 8, 6, 5 since coming back from Christmas break. And then the DNP Friday at Providence. It's like, this is very clearly, for one reason or another, not working, or at least hasn't worked. Why I say not working is because Mac was adamant. John, as you know from talking to him, like, that January was right around the time that we would see or hope to see Owen Freeman at full strength. And so going off of that timeline, it's like, okay, if he is back to full strength and his role has diminished as the season gone on, like, it hasn't worked. It's not working, clearly. To tease a little bit, hopefully I have a story on the full Owen Freeman situation by the Marquette game. So either Sunday or Monday is when I'm targeting, and just what went wrong, what has gone wrong anyways, if things can go right, like if Owen can have a big part down the stretch, or certainly a larger part than what he has now, and how Owen has felt throughout this whole process, because it cannot be easy for him to go from being Big Ten Freshman of the Year 2 seasons ago to not playing basketball for 8 months because of 2 separate injuries, to now not playing basketball because, read between the lines, Greg McDermott doesn't know what he's getting when he puts him out on the court. So, yeah, hopefully we'll have a deep dive in the whole situation by early next week.
We will definitely be looking for that. Looking to tonight's matchup, obviously 2 keys. One is the transition offense of Xavier, which Creighton did an excellent job of holding down. The other part of it has been more of a recent phenomenon, at least from a Creighton defensive standpoint, and that is back-to-back games where they have allowed 50-point paints in the point. And Xavier's coming off a win against Butler where they scored 50 points in the paint. And I've got to imagine Trey Carroll, who is one of their better interior presence players, who had an abysmal game in Cincinnati, is going to factor in big tonight.
Yeah, I would certainly think so. And you hit it right on, John. Like, the transition piece is the biggest piece for me, because I think Creighton held Xavier to 11 transition points in the first meeting. Xavier's going to come into Omaha tonight riding 2 straight wins. And in those games over Providence and Butler, they had a combined 60-plus transition points. So this team wants to, and is very capable of getting up and down the floor in a hurry. The other thing is, because Creighton shut off Xavier's transition game, it turns Xavier into a bunch of shot chuckers, and the Musketeers have the 3-point shooters usually, but they didn't take good shots, like, at all. And that had a lot to do with Creighton's defense that night. Like, I remember Creighton being so active, so connected defensively, and the Jays have lost a little bit of that. Maybe the 5 games in 12 days doesn't help, sure, but people say defense travels for a reason. Like, if you can't make shots, the one thing you should be able to do is defend, right? Like, look at Seton Hall this season. Do they have a crown jewel bucket getter? No, not by any means. But are they a fantastic team because they defend and give themselves a chance every single night? Absolutely. So anyway, long meandering way to say, like, Creighton has lost a little bit of that. And so I think the transition piece is so huge because it will force Xavier into taking a bunch of shots again. And if Creighton can be the slightest bit connected on defense, go back a month and 4 days ago and you can see how the Jays can throw Xavier's offense out of sync. But the huge glaring problem here is, yes, with Jason Green admittedly undersized and playing through a shoulder injury, with Kerem Conan still learning the system through a significant language barrier, and with the Owen Freeman situation being what it is, like, this team lacks the rim protection required in the Big East. And we saw that against Georgetown, and we saw that against St. John's. And so how do you make up for that? Like, does Owen come along? Does Karam come along? Jason Green's not getting any healthier, no. You don't get healthier throughout the season playing in this league. And so what do you do? I think that kind of circles back around to a question I asked Mac yesterday. Like, he said the defense before the season, he knew and said the defense would be ever changing, would evolve game by game, week by week, matchup by matchup. And so I just asked him how it has evolved. And that's when he said, it is what it is at this point, and there's not much you can do without rim protection. And so how do they evolve now? Do they play more zone? That's worked well for them. But I know Mac doesn't like to play a lot of zone, right?
And it's hard to rebound out of it.
And that's the thing that I've mentioned to somebody is like, this team struggles to defensive rebound. It just is what it is, right? And so I'm like, do you consider just sitting in a zone if you can't rebound anyway, and just making offense tough on people? Is that a trade-off that would be worthwhile? I have no clue. I have absolutely no idea. But the defense is going to have to evolve again, whatever that means. And I think tonight against Xavier is a really, really good chance to do that.
Yeah, and one more quick thing, John. Like that stat about the high quality looks that they had in the first match, 6 of 66, like that is ridiculous. Like there's no way that that's going to happen again tonight.
No, and you certainly wouldn't think so. And the other component of this is like Xavier is coming to Omaha to get their lick back. Like they lost at home by 41 points.
Insane.
They have never
worst loss they've ever had at home, ever.
Yes, John. What was that gym like that night?
Well, first off, Creighton walked into a great situation because the students were gone, and we've never played in there where there was less than 9,000 people. So
okay.
I think there was maybe 6,500 or 7,000 in there. So the atmosphere was dead to begin with. So it kind of started on that note, and then the game went on, and it felt like you were playing in a morgue, because it felt like it was over about 12 minutes into the game.
It was. And so, I just like Xavier takes so much pride in protecting that gym, and to lose by 41 there, like they're absolutely coming to Omaha to try and exact revenge at the Chai. And so how did the Jays respond? Can they hit shots like they did to open Big East play? Can they defend to not have to just outscore another opponent? We'll find out here in a little bit.
Yes, we will. John Walker, Omaha.com. Look for his great work there every day from Omaha.com, the Omaha World Herald. John, we appreciate it. We'll see you here in just a little while.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, John.
John Walker joining us on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. We will continue with more of Unsportsmanlike Conduct next on 1620 The Zone.
From the Plum Right Time-Saving Traffic Center, no accidents to report this afternoon, but we've got delays if you're west on I.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
Okay. Yes, content's a little bit earlier as well. Don't forget Creighton basketball coming up. Coverage starts at 5:30. All right. What do we have coming up today in content?
Let's play a game. Shall we? I want you guys to close your eyes. Peeking. No peeking.
Okay.
All right.
Closing my eyes.
I'm going to play a clip.
Here we go.
Okay. Hit it.
I want to thank the Big Ten for giving us 5 of our first 7 on the road. Bringing Purdue here on Thursday night. We don't get back till LA till Saturday night. And giving us the team picked to win the league on a 2 days rest. After 5 of our first 7 on the road. I want to thank the Big Ten for that.
Now, how many points do you think that coach's team lost by last night?
They lost, I believe, by negative 1 point.
They won.
They won the game. Wait,
but he sounded so mad. Cronin sounded so mad last night, John.
He did, but he did manage to win the game. Now, two things can be true at the same time. Number one, can the Big Ten have a wonky schedule that is a bit unfair to teams? Absolutely. But number two, if Mick Cronin, just like Lincoln Riley across town, wants to blame somebody, just go walk into the chancellor's office, walk into the president's office, walk into the Board of Regents office, or whoever makes the ultimate decision at your particular school and say, why did you put us in this godforsaken conference that has all of its teams in either the central or the eastern time zone with the exception of us and a couple of others? Why are we playing in a coast-to-coast conference? There is your answer right there. So, again, I can sympathize with Mick Cronin. I understand his plight. I understand, trying to get a team ready to play a really good Purdue squad on short rest isn't optimal. But you all chose this life. And this is why the Bigger Ten doesn't work as a logical conference. But things aren't logical anymore.
Nick, you'll understand this reference in the words of Don Draper. That's what the money is for.
Oh, yeah, that's a Mad Men.
That's what the money is for. I'll say this, because you're right, John. Like, this is all a part of being in the league. If they didn't want it, they shouldn't have done it in the first place. Now, obviously, Cronin didn't really have a say in it. This move went beyond him. But, man, that guy is always angry. He's always in a terrible mood, and he's like Lincoln Riley. He's always complaining about logistics. Just odd that of all the nights to do so, it was following a win over a top 10 Purdue team.
My God, people forget. I have a feeling that
he was ready to go regardless.
It was ready to go. He probably thinks, though, it resonates better after a win because if he said it after a loss, then folks would have said, "Oh, you're making excuses," blah 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 blah. But now, and listen, he would have done it anyway. There's no doubt he had this stuck in his craw for weeks and was just ready to pull the trigger. And this was the moment to do it. And it's just a bigger moment now that his team actually beat Purdue and made Nebraska the only undefeated team left in the Big Ten.
Incredible.
And then there was Tom Izzo telling Kerr Ting in the huddle that he couldn't guard my mother. Why is his mother taking strays?
Yeah, that's a tough look for not only the player, but Tom Izzo's mother. No need to throw her under the bus. Is she still with us, John?
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, she's 99 and a half years old.
Whoa.
Yes.
Congratulations.
And in the press conference afterwards, because the quote was captured in that Fox in the Huddle gimmick that they
this wasn't like a reading the lips type situation.
Yeah,
hear the audio.
Audio. And then he answered the question about it afterwards and closed his answer by saying, yeah, and while the rest of us are flying back home to East Lansing, Kerr's going to be flying back to, and I can't remember which town his mother is in, but flying back to her town, and they're going to go one-on-one in the gym.
Jeez.
So when you're a man of Tom Izzo's clout, you can get away with some of those things sometimes. And I'm guessing his mom's not going to be too terribly upset, though. She's probably mad that she now has to get stretched and ready to go for when Kurtzank shows up at the old folks.
Josh, this one is for you and only you, specifically you.
What?
You got any takes on the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Wait, I want John to opine about this. Why is it just me that's opining about this?
Because
the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, I was doing a joke.
I have opinions on it. Look, I still am always wondering about the steroid era players, and they're just not going to get in there. One of the banging the trash can men made the Hall of Fame. Am I right, John? So it's interesting what level of cheating...
banging the trash can guy. I mean, Carlos Beltran lost his job as the manager of the Mets, a team not even involved in the banging the can controversy, because of what happened. And yet, as a player, obviously not getting in as being a coach or a manager, as a player, he's getting in. This is
it interesting that we're okay with some level of cheating, but not other levels of cheating?
Exactly. I mean, cheating is cheating, right? It was bad enough that two managers got fired. They all had to sit out a while. Beltran still hasn't gotten a job back with a major league team. Yet, Alex Rodriguez was on the same ballot, and he only got like 46 or 7% of the vote using PEDs. It's a very inconsistent standard.
Oh, yeah.
Now, thinking of both of them, because Andrew Jones was the only other one who got in. This was an opportunity for the Hall of Fame to get some center fielders in. I guess there hasn't been a true center fielder elected since Kirby Puckett.
Really?
Which is really odd.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't know. This felt like an underwhelming ballot to me. It felt like a bunch of guys who could be in the Hall of Very Good, but didn't feel Hall of Fame to me. But I guess somebody or somebody's had to get in.
Get in.
So two guys got in, and one of them is Beltran, who, before he went to the Astros he was okay. He was good. He was fine. But he played for a bad Royals franchise. It's interesting, but, someone had to get in. This just feels like one of the weakest Hall of Fame classes we're going to see in a while.
Oh, yeah. My favorite coach of all time is headed to Los Angeles to be the new OC. No, John, unfortunately not for your Rams, but for Jim Harbaugh's Chargers. Is this a good move?
I mean, from a strategic standpoint, probably, but man, you've got two of the goofiest pukes ever on the face of the earth who are now on the same coaching staff. I mean, you got Harbaugh, who speaks in riddles and cliches, or weird cliches, and then you have
Mr. Riddles,
who we know is, just the nerdiest, weirdest guy out there. But as far as, what they can do tactically, I'll be very curious to see what McDaniel can do and what he's going to be able to do with his quarterback. The Chargers obviously have to get healthy. I think it can be a good move. I would just like to be a fly on the wall if Harbaugh ever sits in on an offensive meeting, because I sense there's going to be a lot of
which you probably will. Oh, yeah. The weirdness level of the Chargers is probably going to be higher than any organization in the NFL, perhaps that we've ever seen, if we're being honest. Mass grade from Greg Roman. Like, that guy, I think that there was a time and a place for Greg Roman, and it was like 2012 when Colin Kaepernick was taking the NFL by storm. But I have long been out on him as a play caller and a play designer. I think that this is a big-time upgrade there. You do wonder, like we often talk about, John, alpha personalities. How will these coaches, because they're both alphas? I wouldn't really describe McDaniel as an alpha, just more of a weirdo and a very strange person. But there's no doubt he can create I guess that's true, but I guess I just wouldn't refer to him as that. Great run game designer. Of course, he was a part of those 49ers offenses before he went to the Dolphins that were very, very good, especially at running the football. The little quick motion where the guy is on the end of the line and quickly runs out. Like, he was the one who essentially invented that or brought it out into the mainstream. So no doubt that he has some great ideas. Be curious to see if he can get more out of Herbert than any of the offensive coordinators and head coaches before.
Baker Mayfield is still spicy about his exit from Cleveland, and he's reminding new division rival Kevin Stefanski about it. Mayfield tweeted about the new Falcons coach, still waiting on a text/call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. Whoa.
Hey, I always love in pro sports when we can get some old school rivalries like this. Everybody is so buddy these days. This is unexpected and surprising, and yet I understand it. I mean, remember how we were talking about Baker Mayfield, John, before he ended up in Carolina and then with your Rams, which set up Tampa Bay. I mean, his career seemed like it was teetering. Remember, he'd been in all those commercials, and people are making jokes by like week 3 or 4 that season of like, why is he on so many of these commercials? So I understand it. Baker Mayfield has always been a chip on his shoulder type player, type human being. So I'm not surprised that he's holding on to this, even if I had personally had forgotten about it.
Yeah. So yesterday the comment was on the AFC, the new coaching addition there and the rivalry that exists with the Jaguars, talking about Robert Saleh versus Cohen. Now the NFC South gets spicy, with Mayfield holding a big-time grudge against Kevin Stefanski, who will inherit his quarterback. But can he manage that situation better than he handled the situation in Cleveland? I don't know. But look forward to those Bucs-Falcons games. Move over, Saints. The Falcons have a new rival.
With an enthusiasm unknown to mankind, John Harbaugh was introduced as the head coach of the New York Football Giants. What do you predict this Ravens lifer will do with the G-men in the 5 years he's under contract?
He will get the Giants to the playoffs. Probably win a division, because everyone gets to win the division at least once every 5 years in the NFC East.
No lies detected.
I hesitate to say that he's going to be able to get to a Super Bowl, much less win a Super Bowl. I do think he will make the Giants better, but I hesitate to go any further than that at the moment, though he's got a lot of talent to work with. He's got his quarterback, apparently. The Giants, drafted very well on the defensive line the last couple of years. They'll win. I don't think they'll win the ultimate prize.
Couldn't agree with you more. I think that he is going to be a hell of a floor raiser. I think that they will be a more consistent team. That said, I mean, he did win that Super Bowl, but otherwise he really had struggled at getting over the hump on the front end and the back end of that Super Bowl. And it's odd, John, so he got to Baltimore in 07, 08. I would probably pick like 4 or 5 Ravens teams that I thought were better than that one that he coached. And yet that was the one that won the Super Bowl. So I think he's going to be good for the Giants. I think that the division certainly got tougher and that they're going to be a real pain in the ass. I think they'll win the division at some point in the next 5 years. I do not think that they will go to or win a Super Bowl.
There have been 15 fourth-quarter lead changes so far in the 10 games played of the NFL playoffs. That's an all-time record, guys. The previous high was 10 in the 2007-08 playoffs, which featured the Giants destroying the Patriots' unbeaten season. Will we get more fourth-quarter lead changes this weekend?
I would expect so, and certainly it's John's game that is going to be the one that is more likely to have them, just given what we have seen in the previous 2 matchups between the Seahawks and the Rams. The first game went all the way down to the wire. 21-19 Rams win. Seahawks missed a field goal, right, John, at the buzzer there. Yep. And, of course, the Thursday nighter was one of the most memorable games of the entire season. Seattle wins that one in OT by a point. That said, there is a part of me, man, that it is wondering if the AFC Championship game is going to surprise us and the Broncos defense is really going to show up, and we're going into the fourth quarter and they're either down by a score or they have a lead, and everyone's like, are the Patriots really going to blow this? So I will guarantee one game has at least one lead change. It wouldn't surprise me if both of them do, though, over the course of Sunday afternoon.
In fact, go ahead. I'm not even going to tease it. I'm picking Denver. I think Denver's going to win. I think Denver's going to win.
Bunk.
Now, that doesn't mean it won't be close, and there might not be another lead change that takes place. But I would agree that we're going to get at least one more additional fourth quarter lead change. And there's the potential here, depending on how the rest of the playoffs go.
Yeah.
That, especially if it's the Rams. Well, it has to be, because Seahawks didn't get challenged last week. Think about where the Rams have been so far in the playoffs. Touchdown with 38 seconds to go to win it. And then having to survive overtime and a couple of possessions to beat the Bears. The Rams are on the cusp of having the most stressful playoff run in NFL history. If this week's game goes the same way as the regular season game, again, assuming they win, and then whatever happens in the Super Bowl, which will probably be another stressful game. They could go down as the most stressful champion of all time, which means I will not survive.
Former Alabama standout Charles Bediako, who entered the 2023 NBA draft and played in the G League this season, has sued the NCAA to gain immediate reinstatement to join the Crimson Tide for the rest of the 25-26 season. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, he's been granted a temporary restraining order, so it's happening.
Jeez.
He's at least going to play this week, depending on how the restraining order is granted. But, I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Now, I get the argument, right?
This is your sport. This is basketball, John. College football would never allow such a thing.
Oh, college football allows dumber things.
They haven't done it.
College baseball would never do this.
They allow dumb. I mean, this is all part and parcel of the same disease. But I get the argument. You've got all of these guys coming over from Europe and other foreign countries, but mainly European countries, who have played some level of professional basketball and have been granted eligibility and sometimes 4 years of eligibility in the NCAA. So the argument is, hey, what's the difference between them getting paid in Germany or in England or in France versus me getting paid here in the United States? But the fact that he
honestly
left
a little bit
early,
of a sound argument, you know.
he left school early.
Yes.
He entered his name in the draft, didn't get drafted, but ended up signing a 10-day with the Spurs. He hasn't played in the NBA, but he's played in the G League. Again, my mind cannot comprehend these things. Rules, I don't know if they exist anymore.
Where we're going, we don't need rules. It's ridiculous. This is unfathomable. You presented the argument that I was going to make just to play devil's advocate, but then you provided the other side of the argument. It's this stuff is insane. It is absolutely bonkers that we are allowed. It is bonkers like the bonkos that we are allowing this stuff to happen.
Well, speaking of hoops, both Nebraska and Creighton are playing tonight in hoops. Is it going to be a 2-0 night for the state that we all legally live in?
We do legally live here, Nick. Both teams are favored. Nebraska a slightly larger favorite in their game versus the Huskies. Yes, John, I will say it is a 2-0 night and one team covers. That's my prediction.
I hope it's a 2-0 night. I hope, especially for the Omaha team. I know it's a big difference between a 41-point win, but Xavier's playing a lot better, and I'll be curious to see how the Musketeers attack. It depends on the points in the paint. Creighton has given up 50 points in the paint in each of the last two games. They can't afford to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
How did Creighton take advantage of the extra couple of days off from where they've normally been? And how much more connected will they be defensively? And can they defend the full court in transition as good as they did in Cincinnati? It better be better than it was against Providence, or it won't be a 2-0 night. And that's content.
Content.
Dinner's coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Actually, dinner will be later.
When you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Crust is good on your pizza, not your ass.
I will eat your ass first.
He's tough as a Woolworth steak.
And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. All right. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap.
I'm ready to hang them up, gut them, and skin them, and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. My daughters aren't starving to death. I'll eat my neighbors.
And we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you.
Cliff, what are you going to take away as your best memory from playing basketball at Boston College?
Probably just like going out to eat.
Whatever is left over when I get home, because famously I do not eat before games, mainly because the food's all been moved upstairs.
Very sad, John. Rolled chicken tacos, I believe, is the game plan tonight.
Chicken bacon ranch tacos?
No, and it's wild how this has become such a strong opinion from. I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, it's Connor Happer. If it's not perfectly normal from 1942, he doesn't like any new food items that are available.
It's not even that new. I mean, ranch is.
I love chicken bacon ranch.
Chicken bacon ranch stuff has been around.
It's delicious.
Not that
tasty.
Not that new.
Yeah, come on, Happer.
Nor is it that. I didn't even realize it was.
I don't think it's that wild. I don't think it's that crazy.
Yeah. Is it an anti-ranch thing?
What was the word you used?
Bacon. Ranch.
Last night it was walking tacos at the arena, and so I'll be honest, I did not partake because I wasn't trying to walk around and spill anything before I was on TV, so I just did the Fritos. And then I ate.
Well, you don't have to walk while you eat them.
Yeah, I mean,
sit down while you eat them.
I mean, I could. But remember,
keep it off your shirt.
I was on with you live until 6 o'clock. I didn't have a whole lot.
Literally taking the walking taco, literally. In that, well, it's not a walking taco unless you're walking while eating it.
You know, I didn't think you were Fritos walking taco guy, Josh. That's interesting.
That's all they had. I couldn't do anything else.
They only had Fritos an option for walking tacos?
I mean, I didn't,
it's a fine
have
option.
Yeah, what did you expect, Nick? Doritos,
yeah,
probably.
Doritos.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I got there late. There was less items by the time it was what's for dinner for your boys. So that could have played a part in it too. Maybe they had Doritos, but yeah, it was only Fritos that were available. Sadly, no Kookaburra cookies. That was the thing that I was hoping for. But maybe next time. I'm on the call a week from tonight. Maybe next week.
We have not seen the Kookaburra cookies at men's games this year. At least I have.
I'm gonna have to text Eli and say, hey, what's up with this? I want to get one of them cookies.
Where's my cookie?
I want a cookie, bruh. I love cookies. Cookie.
Cookie. Well, tomorrow, it's Thursday.
Yes.
We'll have Robin Washington. We'll recap the Nebraska-Washington game. Is Nebraska still undefeated, alone the top of the Big Ten standings? Wow. Let's see. Oh, and we're getting close to the championship game, so we'll need to start previewing those as well. Championship Sunday coming up. And who knows what other weird things will happen between now and then. All of it coming up tomorrow on the Drum. Oh, and we will give away the Thorogood tickets. We didn't have time today. It was just weird with, the shorter show. And I need more time to formulate whatever game it is we're going to try to play for the George Thorogood tickets.
I cannot wait, John.
John,
I have an idea. I have a working idea. I don't know if it's going to be any good.
I hope it's great. It better be great.
Why?
Wow.
Well, you've held up on it so long.
Oh, all right. Well, find out tomorrow.
Bye.